To be here this afternoon at the Brewerville City Hall, and thanks to Mayor Curtis and team who have allowed us here. We've got our NEC partners coming with us all the time. We see Sam Cole and team, and it's a great idea to be here today. Our debates will take civic education into account here. So let's begin Ducal debates here today at Brewerville City Hall. All right, this is Ducal debates called to order today at Brewerville City Hall, Brewerville City, Monsterrado County, the Western Horn of Monrovia. We're glad to come to you today from here. This is debate number 3 for Monsterrado and Bong senatorial by-elections. This is debate number 1 for Monsterrado. Today we will begin with the procession into the hall of the candidates for 2018 senatorial by-election, Monsterrado. May we begin the procession now. Today, creating a level playing field for sustaining democracy in Liberia, we, the LMDR, organized this debate. Attending today's debate, debate 1, Monsterrado. May we call in Josephine George Francis. Is Josephine Francis in? No. Josephine is absent. Today, we're calling candidate for Senate, Monsterrado 2018, Michael Doe Tipperson. On Ducal debates, Michael Doe Tipperson, arise. Sir, we're waiting for you, Michael Doe Tipperson. On Ducal debates. Thank you. Today, we call and hopefully God, candidate for Senate, Finley Wakanga. Finley Wakanga, rise to debate the issues. Thank you. On Ducal debates, senatorial by-election, Monsterrado. Take your seat. Thank you. Today, we call and hopefully God, candidate for Senate, Sir H. Joseph. Thank you. Candidate for Senate, Sir Joseph, arise to speak with you, Monsterrado. Brewerville City, Sir Joseph, arise for today's debate. Thank you. Today, we called and hopefully got Bernard DJ Blue Benson Jr. We hope we got him absent. Today, we made contact with and hopefully would have candidate for Senate, Mark A. Kishen. Mark A. Kishen, he's absent. Thank you. Today, we made contact with an outright rejection. No, I am not coming. For no reason, he is not here. Yekewa Koluba, he's absent. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. May we rise together to take Liberia's national anthem and sing it along. Thank you. Be ours.
Clap for Liberia. Clap for Liberia. You're not clapping. Thank you. Thank you very much. Why standing? Why standing? Why standing? Oh, look up to God and say our separate prayers in silence. Amen. You may have your seats, please. Today is Ducal Debates across Liberia. We're here today in Monsterrado County, just from Bon County, both in Banga and Salala, with 5 candidates appearing on all of the shows. Today we're here in Broadville at the City Hall, and may I now introduce to you our moderators who have been arranged for the moderation of the debates today. Today, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to bring you the first female moderators we're showcasing here in Monsterrado County and in this 2018. She has a little over 8 years experience in journalism, both with Radio Veritas, Power FM, and ELBC. She holds a BA degree in sociology from the University of Liberia, and awarded several certificates in investigative journalism from North Carolina, the USA. She earned a certificate from Deutsche Welle Radio in production reporting. She works for the BBC, reported on the Ebola crisis in Liberia, and she is presently a judicial reporter, a Press Union Award winner. Ladies and gentlemen, this journalist is no other but Fabine Kuya. Give her a very big hand of applause. Fabine Kuya. Thank you very much. One of our partners, Radio Truth FM, have sent another moderator here. He is a Liberian journalist, a talk show host. He's always on the most famous Truth breakfast show, particularly on Fridays. He has served as continuity announcer, reporter, producer, and presenter. He is a radio director for Truth FM 96.1. He holds a bachelor's in public administration from AMITZEU and several certificates in journalism. 15 years experience in journalism. He served as moderator in Babalu on the special senatorial election in 2014, the general election in 2011, and of course the presidential and representative elections in Babalu in 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, he's no other but Jacob Bien, commonly called JKB. Thank you. Thank you. Another of our moderators is our own from the LMDI with 10 years experience in journalism. He went to school in Israel, Jerusalem. Outstanding record, impeccable record in the profession. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me now to introduce to you no other but Bongafali Tamba. My name is Tony Gibson. The famous verse you hear on Tomorrow's People. Who's moving? Who's dropping? I'm one of your moderators today. I will be dealing with the legal issues on this special senatorial by-election here. But ladies and gentlemen, let me now introduce to you our lead moderator for today. 20 years as an astute journalist in Liberia and across Africa and the world. He was awarded Press Union Journalist of the Year in 2018. He was awarded the prestigious National Endowment for Democracy NED Fellowship at the International Forum for Democratic Studies in Washington, D.C. 2006. He has worked for Radio France International, RFI, as one of its senior English correspondents in West Africa. He's worked for the BBC World Service Trust as one of a team of 8 reporters from Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea, covering the trial of former Liberian President Charles Taylor before the UN-backed Special Court for Sierra Leone, sitting in the International Criminal Court in The Hague. He was the lead moderator in 2005 debates, presidential, 2017 debates, presidential and legislative, sponsored by EC Bilateral Carter Center and the LMDI respectively. At the moment, his scripts produce, present the dialogue. He's no other but the founder and executive director for the Liberian Media for Democratic Initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, at a hand clap, let us now welcome John O'Cully. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Today is yet another opportunity for Liberia to celebrate its ambitious people. At any time in this country, we must muster the courage to volunteer for our country, even when we let our monies. We have always insisted that this is the right thing to do, even if the internationals don't give you money and you got some money, work for your country. We want to challenge our brothers who take fantasy in big things that have got big monies to muster the courage to work free for our country and contribute. All right, thank you so much. There are going to be rules to this game. There's no game as such without a rule. We will expect civility because we saw Bond County behaving very well. And we expect you, the people of this capital, this county that holds the capital, to behave. Today, we called in the following, and we'll tell you what happened. We called candidate for Senate Josephine George Francis. She turned us down that she has other things to do. She would like to join us. We hope since she did not make it to this one, she can make it to the Bentall one. This is a free space for you. Come and sell yourself. We call in candidate for Senate Michael Doe Tippison. Tippison has come to talk with you today. Thank you for coming, Michael. He wants to be a senator. Candidate for Senate Finlay Kanga. Kanga has graciously joined you. Kanga is with us. We call today candidate for Senate Monsterrado, Sir Ish Joseph. Sir has joined us to speak with you and to ask you to vote for him. We call forever, never got him. We communicated to his radio, to his personal line, everything. We did our best to get Bernard DJ Blue Benson Jr. No word from him. It's surprising. You must answer. This is strategically important. We will be making another effort to get him to Bentor. We hope he will answer. So he's not here. We made all contacts to get Mark A. Kishen. At some point, some kind of number will answer. You don't get anything out of that number. And if you're not busy with you, I want to know who are they busy with. It was forever. He is not here today. We contacted Yekewa Koluba, candidate for Senate. First time he said he was at, what do you call the place? What do you call that place near Kakata? Morris is fine. And I will call you tomorrow. I'll call you, I'll get to you. And then the next day, I called the man this morning. I ain't coming nowhere. Goodbye. We just say come. You won't come talking respectfully. Right? So he's not here, unfortunately. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, today's debate will be guided by rules of engagement. The rules of engagement will be brought to you by moderator Bonga Falitamba.
As you are aware, for every game under the sun, that game must have some rules. So today, at the setting of the Brewerville City Hall of the Ducal debate, I want to bring you 10 or 8 rules of this game today. Ladies and gentlemen, the first rule is all phones on silence, not only on the podium, but also in this hall. Number 2 rule, no profanity. We don't insult anyone in here. We are people from homes. We are highly reputable. I think so, until you prove yourself wrong. But we should respect one another in here. Rule number 3, no bottled in here. I'm saying no alcohol. If you already emptied the bottle out there and it's already in you, please behave while you are in this hall. Rule number 4, we have no political banners in here. Like I saw out there, people coming in with political banners. We don't want that in this hall. Rule number, no slogan, no political slogan. Oh, say, for example, oh, say, party A, oh, say. We don't want it here. No clapping. No booing. Just in case your candidate must have said something that really moved you. All you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, put your 2 hands above your head and just go the seesaw way. Okay? Are we together? Rule number 6. No hate speech in this hall. Last but not the least, at the end of this sitting, all participants remain seated as the moderator announces the departure of each of these candidates while clapping for each of them walking through the doors of this hall. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you behave properly. Please let us bring sanity to this sitting of the Ducal debate. I ask you to please keep this debate civil. Thank you very much.
We normally partner a lot with the National Elections Commission. We are doing it again. So our debates, we are partnering. They don't support us on this one. The NDC supports us and work with us on other civic education issues. We're doing the dialogue with the candidates, and we hope we are pretending to be people here. About start Joe. Amen. We don't get them water because we want nobody to say we killed them before the election. Now all they didn't get water for. So nobody was so sir, when you're ready, you call your man and say, you just show the man will bring water for you. You too, Michael and Kanga. So we are glad to come here, like we were saying, with now 3 available candidates. Our man Kanga, Tipperson, and Joseph. One of them will win. Some people who are not here may win. You never know who will win this election, yeah? Maybe at Bentall they will come. And so today, the election that is coming on the 31st is guided by legal ramifications by the NEC, the law. We are glad to bring you that law from moderator Tonia A. Gibson, who is an attorney at law too. Thank you, Tonia.
The elections laws are very clear. I want to remind you of a few of the provisions that could land you into prison and you may not enjoy your 26. So we want to make sure that you are aware. But why this election? Article 37 of the 1986 revised constitution made it clear that in the event, I will read it for you verbatim, in the event a vacancy in the legislature caused by death, resignation, and expulsion or otherwise, the presiding officer shall within 30 days notify the election commission thereof, and the election commission shall not later than 90 days thereafter cause a by-election to be held, provided that where such vacancy occurs within 90 days prior to the holding of the general elections, the filling of the vacancy shall await the holding of such general election. Looking at the clear readings of these provisions, what it means is that in January, Ambassador George Openweir extended. He resigned and took up a different assignment as a president of this republic. February, the whole of February is 30 days or more or less. The legislature informed NEC about the vacancy created. From that 30 days, we check in March, April, and May. Election should have been held. The question then is, why not? However, the discussion of the why was held in the national legislature, and the senators and the representative passed a joint resolution authorizing NEC to proceed with these elections, even though the constitutional mandate was a little bit, overweight because of the news you all been hearing, no money and the rest of it. So the document that authorizes NEC to hold election to that 31st is a joint resolution. Thank you. The next thing I want you to know about is who can vote in this election. The law says, except you have been judicially declared to be incompetent, or maybe there was a conviction and the law found you guilty of certain crimes and they put you into prison, that civic duty to vote cannot be exercised. All right? Or maybe you went crazy between 2017 and now. Your voting card cannot be used. Otherwise, all of you who have a registered voting card and you are in sound mind, please, on July 31st, go and vote. The next question will be, where do I go to vote? NEC say that where you voted in the 2017 election, that same room, that same place, go right back there and vote. Now, there under section 10.2, there are offenses in relation to registration card. that may catch some of you if you're not careful. The law says that you are not allowed to hold more than one card, and you're not allowed to alter the registration card for any reason whatsoever. If you did that, you could go to jail for up to 60 days and also be fined, or both. So please be careful. If you have more than one registration cards already in your possession, you're heading for trouble. Take note of that. Now, it is your right, a constitutional right, to go and vote on July 31st. And no employer supposed to stop you from going to exercise that duty you have. So politely inform your employer, even though they can't stop you, but be nice. Say, please, I'm going to vote. There are some of you who work even on holidays. That should not stop you from voting. All of us should take part in these elections. Now, one of the candidates here, like John indicated, may or may not win the election. And sometimes there is this tendency that when they don't win, they're quick to say that they were cheated and the election commission was not transparent and the rest of it. The law is not against your utterance. What the law is against is that when you make the utterance, you don't follow the legal procedure laid down, and you put people in the street and start running all around so they cheat you. Let me read for you section 10.2. Stirring up unrest and rebellion in lieu of protest after declaration of election results is a serious offense on our election law and the laws of Liberia. When you feel cheated, when you feel that your rights have been disrespected, there are procedures laid down that you must follow. Listen to what next says. Failure by a candidate, and I'm talking to all three of them, Honorable Sir Joseph, Honorable Kanga, and Honorable Tippison. Failure by one of you or a political party to file and prosecute an election protest within the time allowed by this statute is a waiver and the end and ends the right of such candidate or political party to do so. Do not waive your right. Any candidate or political party failing to take advantage of the provision laid down in the statute relating to election context and after the expiration of the time allowed to do so result to the dissemination of propaganda which contains statement intended to create political unrest and disturb the peace of this nation, you are in trouble with the republic and you will be dealt with according to our laws here. So we beg you. Now, the laws also provide that when you feel cheated, what you must do. If you follow the election law under chapter 6, they have a title called contested election, meaning you were dissatisfied with the results and you thought that it was impartial, it was not transparent, and you need to sit before a tribunal to listen to that you have the right. These are your procedures. A political party or candidate who has justifiable reasons to believe that the election were not impartially conducted, please, within 7 days after the announcement of the result, go to Election Commission and file a formal complaint stating clearly with evidence that the following have occurred to you and you need some legal redress. That's the way to go. If you did that, NEC within 30 days call you and whoever you're reporting to a conference, all right, to an investigation. And whoever NEC finds guilty, these are the following ways NEC may look into the matter. There is something we call harmless error. Sometimes some of the complaints you will carry will squarely be just, we went to the pools, but the doors were not open. According to NEC, they said the door will be open sharp 8 for us to vote. The door were not open. The box came very late, and it was raining. My people could not stay in the rain. And after the whole while, the place was dry. Later on, the rain came. We could not vote, and the rest of it. Those things will not cause NEC to hold a re-election. Those will be captioned on what we call harmless error. Now, there are a few things that NEC take very seriously: bribery, corruption. And the law clearly states what constitutes bribery under this title, section 10.4. For those of you who are intellectual, would like to do further reading, that's why I'm calling the sections. Section 10.4 of the new election laws. They say for the purpose of this title, bribery includes the following. 1, offering, like some of you here, some people, maybe these 3, have offered you money to take part in these elections and vote. Don't let next year, because if they find out, you may go to jail for 5 years and also be fined. Now, if you receive money from them, similar thing will happen to you. Money, things of value will mean you can get back or register before you go vote. All those kind of things that people watching you. Be careful. This election is about who steered the ship of affair of Monsterrado to lead us to somewhere better. It's not about money business. So the law say if you're caught, you'll go to jail for 5 years. Take note of that. So those are the key procedures we want you to remember on this election law. The next thing I want to bring to your attention, I'll give everybody this card. If you don't have one, I'm sorry. Maybe it finished on you. But we'll open it briefly if you have yours. Can anybody walk to this mark and tell me how many registered voters are in Monsterrado County that are prepared to take part in these by-elections? The reason for you to know that is because if NEC on election day said that the total registered voter who took part in the election was 1 million, how can you measure that against what you already know to know whether there is foul play or not? You need to know how many people should take part in this election. Can anybody come and answer that question? So each of you held this thing and you never read it. So will somebody come? Maybe for 10 points. Yes, somebody is coming.
My name is James Matari. I'm from District 10.
Thank you, sir. Where is District 10, sir?
District 10 is around the Oral Bells.
The Oral Bell. Okay. And so how many registered voters are expected to participate in this election?
778,291.
You're correct. Thank you very much. Please give you a hand of applause, please. So 778,000 persons, 291. Can anybody come back to this mark and tell us how many candidates are taking part in these elections in Monsterrado County?
My name is Wellington Kofa, and I too live in District 14, around the Doe community, Freeport, Cloudton community. And we have 7 registered candidates.
Thank you very much. Please clap for him again. Now, the key instruction I want for you to remember, and for the people in Radio Land to always remember, is the instruction for on voting day. Number 1, what you must do. Number 2, what you must do. There are 7 numbers. Quickly, just 7 points, one after the other. Just read it clearly for everybody to hear. I'm waiting for you. The first 7. Voting days instruction. Number 1. Can I have 7 persons here? Okay, thank you. The first person coming.
Okay, I'm James Grace from District number 13. Voting will start at 8 o'clock a.m. and end at
Speak to the mic directly, sir.
Okay, voting will start at 8 o'clock a.m. and end at 6 o'clock p.m. At 6 o'clock p.m., all voters remaining in the queue will be allowed to cast their ballots.
Thank you very much. Number 2. Yes, sir.
Ballots will be counted on the spot at the close of the polls in the full view of party and candidate agents and domestic and international observers.
Thank you very much. Number 3.
All ballots are printed in blue color.
Thank you very much. Number 4.
Ballot bags will also be labeled with blue color sticker.
Ballot boxes will also be labeled with blue color stickers. Number 5. Thank you, sir. Address to the microphone, please. Yes, number 5.
Each ballot paper will be marked on the ones, indicating one choice.
One choice. Some of you can put 5 choices that invalid votes. Number 6.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
my name is Steve Booner from District number 9. Number 6. All ballots will be marked in secret.
All ballots will be marked in secret. Thank you very much. Yes. We have a lady now.
Question number 7. People in need of help to vote will be allowed to take along a trusted family member or a friend who is a registered voter to help them.
Yes, and the last.
Absolutely. No poll worker, party or candidates, agents or observer is allowed to help any voter beyond the voting screen.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And those are the things we want you to remember during this election. Thank you so much.
That's it, the rules. You must know these things all the time. We don't teach these things, but we expect people to live by them. I don't know how. Today we got what we call trending issues of concern. Trending meaning the issues that affect us, that we are vexed about, that we're suffering from, and these issues really come to our hearts. Co-moderator Fabin Queer will bring you those for your consumption. Fabin, thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As you all heard earlier, my name is Fabin. And now there are 7 trending issues that I will read out and cite maybe a few examples so that you know. And so to the candidates up there, I want you to listen attentively as I read. And they are all local issues for now. The first one is untidiness of Monsterrado waste management when town outcry about continuous pollution, poor or weak implementation of environmental laws and policies, the misuse of wetlands, building of drainages and waterways, leading to flooding and the threat to coastal and urban Monsterrado, the need for mitigation. Example, as you can see in the red light belt, the huge pile of garbage that is there, and when town is a common example. Leaving from that, if you come around the Gardenersville area, just around the bridge, there's a huge pile of garbage there that is posing serious health hazards to inhabitants there. And then concerning about the flooding issues, somewhere on the Robertsfield Highway, we have seen houses and people have been living in distress there. So those are trending issues that we term as local. And then the second one is county social development funds vis-a-vis alleged poor and discriminatory decentralization of the county development funds in Monsterrado. Basically, this election is for Monsterrado County, and so county development funds, maybe people want to know how it will be used and decentralized, and maybe you people are sitting out there in the audience will want to know who controls the funds and not having it to himself or herself. And so the third one is poor road connectivity network in rural Monsterrado. Besides Monsterrado County, probably if you go around the Douala belt, you find a lot of market women breaking in their goods. And because of the bad road condition, you find most of their goods being spoiled. Maybe, probably I would attribute that to typical example like for fruits and other things that you see in the market area. Indeed, if you have good road connectivity, you won't experience such. And the next one is poor healthcare delivery and connectivity of portable pipe-borne safe drinking water in Monsterrado vis-a-vis the apparent ineffectiveness of Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation. In some parts of Monsterrado County, we still see people drawing water from maybe commonwealths in the community, and we have Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation that is not effective in some communities, and sometimes you might have time out to look for good pipe-borne water, and so if you are not having access to that, you might actually develop some disease, maybe concerning or inhabiting it from one end to the other, consisting of your kids and maybe the entire family. And so armed robbery and security in Monsterrado County. Typical example, I'll actually attribute that to myself. A week ago, I was attacked by armed robbers in my community to where I live. And so the issue of armed robbery is something very, very serious, and insecurity I think people should actually look at in Monsterrado County, because earlier I said the by-election is for Monsterrado County, and so our focus is going to be on Monsterrado County. And then we have the same-sex encroachment on Monsterrado, its effects on the culture of Liberia in general and Monsterrado in particular. Remember, other countries around the world, you've been hearing, or you continue to hear people having the same-sex marriage, and we are not too sure if maybe Liberia going to trend that path one of these days. And so those are issues that people need to discuss, because as you may be aware, we all are from diverse background, religion, cultures, and traditions. And so the last that I have here is women and youth empowerment in Monsterrado County, and it's a trending issue, especially when we see young girls and maybe kids being breadwinners for their families. They have to go in the street to fend for themselves. And so the issues that I've just discussed are all local, and so the candidates that we have here, or the aspirants that we have here, we have to address it later. So thank you, and then for the national issue, JKB will do that later.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Fabian, national issue, current state of the Liberian economy, the inflation in goods and services, high exchange rate of LD to US. Let's begin. Today, by the order of self-introduction, we call candidate Josephine George Francis. She is not here today. She's got some other things to do. So then we call in candidate for Senate, Michael Doe Tippison. Candidate Tippison, go down there, go meet your people. There you go. Is that you? Yes. That's you?
Yes.
Good. If you are ready, then your time starts now.
Well, I'd like to say thank you to the LMDR family for using their meager resources to be able to have us here. Let protocol be observed. My name is Michael Tippison. I represent the dejected masses of our people from the slum of Doe community. I'm 30 years of age. I graduated from the United Methodist University in 2013. I did public policy management at Gimpa, Ghana in 2016. And I'm one of you. I'm a member of the youth and student community. I'm a member of the people who live on the street and call themselves Zogos, or the people call them Zogo. I'm a young person with a background that this society can get better. This society can be better when we have good sons and daughters at the legislature to represent us. More to that, and more interestingly, I'm one young person with the conviction that with the excesses we've seen, with where we want to transition, the responsibility is on the shoulder of capacitated, resourceful, and energetic young men and women of Liberia to lift this country out of its current stage of economic backwardness for social transformation, all in the interest of the growing generation, the young people, and to provide human security for the old people. I'm happy to be in your company as a young person. And I think this debate is going to bring together ideas on how you vote for plans. If I got the moderator right, this is just an introduction, right? So, this is who Tippison is. More to that in the 4 minutes. Introduction. If you look at our history, our life over the period, you see a story of a generation of young people who have been fighting for human dignity. That's where we come from. If you look at our history, you see conviction, you see independence, you see trust, you see a society crying for betterment, that we cannot live in a society where we see that the place is so good, gainful of resources, and policy prescriptions are absent. We have come to make laws in your interests. We have come to exercise oversight responsibility in your interests. We have come to do constituency representation in your interests. And that's the reason why we are soliciting the votes of the people of Monsterrado County so that you have a strong voice at the legislature to protect your interests, to stand by you, to stand with you, to stand for you, plan with you, and have a prosperous county. If it is said that Monsterrado was established as the foundation of Liberia, it means that we must have a country where the face looks beautiful. As a young man who have made travel to Lagos in 2014, Accra, Ghana, thank you very much.
Do call the best. Do call the best. All right. We are like you. In fact, don't mind me looking good like this. The Zogos, I'm one of them all. But you know, in any situation, this is because of the situation in the country. And we have gone to school. We want to help you change the situation in Liberia. We are of the downtrodden class. We are coming to work to make laws to change your lives. Great. I have gone to school in Nigeria back to help you. We see all kinds of breakdown in the social fabric of the country. We want to be able to help to change that. I am Michael Doe Tippison. Vote me for the Senate. Thank you. Next, we call candidate for Senate to come with us. And he agreed. Our man Finley Wakanga came to talk with you. May you take the podium. When you arrive, let me know your self-introduction and most important platform agenda issue.
Correct. Thank you for this program.
Look here, sir. Listen to me. I'm the chief. Okay. Look at that board. Is that you?
Correct.
Good. We want to make sure so we don't promote any other person against you. All right, so when you are ready, let me know, and then your time pickup.
I'm ready, sir.
All right, Michael, not Michael, but Wakanga. Finley, your time is beginning now for 4 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, and it's an honor sitting with the current rep. Thank you for coming to this occasion. My name is Professor Councillor Finley Wakanga. I'm a lawyer and a human rights activist. Actually, I possess 2 masters in law, and I teach at the University of Liberia. Now, coming to this particular program and is to bring service. By service, I mean contributing to our happiness as a people, supporting job creation, and supporting law reform initiative, and citizen ownership and land rights. While I have 4 aspects of my platform, I'm going to discuss 3 quickly with you. Now, as we discussed earlier by Mr. Tippison, he told you the problem that we have, but we need solution to the problem, and that's why I bring solution to them. So first, they're talking about job creation. I'd like to support the framework here for us that we can create new decks and new opportunities for our people. The first thing is to have a law in place that will actually prohibit and stop foreign engagement into the retail market. More so, we can now think about having a public-private partnership law that indeed will ensure that we can protect our traditional cultural centers, heritage, and use them in order to make business. And so one of them is going to be the Providence Island, where I like to create a public-private partnership, then transform that place to create new jobs. So talking about job initiative, I like to support the review of the law, the maritime law in particular, wherein we then review that law to get in a better state that will employ young Liberians on board our ships that fly the Liberian flag. Many of you may not know, but Liberia has the second biggest maritime program today. Now, the other thing we have to talk about will be law reform initiative. I would like to support a number of initiatives if you were to elect me as a senator, because I'm a lawyer, because I'm an advocate, because I understand the three cardinal principles in lawmaking. That is lawmaking, representation, and oversight. So that is what I'm going to do for you if I become a senator. The first law I'm going to think about making is to review the budget law today. A discriminatory. Honorable Side and the colleague there pass a discriminatory budget. In our budget, there are two cities mentioned in our budget in Monsterrado, and that is Monrovia and Painesville. If I become your senator, I'm going to advocate for all of our cities to be included in there. Now, I'm talking about land and citizenship, which is a key component I'm going to support as a senator. Now, Councillor Kanga has supported and participated in the land right policy drafting process, and also supported the drafting of the Land Authority Act, also including the land rights bill that's before the Senate. As a senator, I'm going to support those because I understand the framework in those laws. Now, under the land right policy today, you have four cardinal principles I will not support: giving land back to the people, private land, government land, and public land. I support all of those. So citizenship. By citizenship, I mean Liberians are the only people that have to be citizens in the country. Black people. White men being citizens here, I oppose that. Monsterrado does not need that. Liberia does not need that today. And so just to close again, there's Professor Finley Kanga, the only lawyer in the race who has passion for service. I want to support job creation, law reform, and land and citizen ownership. Thank you very much.
Thank you. He saved thank you, Councillor Kanga. So I have always supported land and law reform. I believe that our people need to have equal access to land, especially rural people. I oppose any form of open citizenship, especially to non-Negro people. And he has begun attacking the trending issues right from the start. I will not accept that. I have seen the passage of bad bills by candidate Sir H. Joseph, and he began underlining. He addressed the mayor. Representative Joseph, I'm sure there's an intent for that. I don't know. And he said, I'm going to replace him. Those ugly laws they made, that citizenship they want to push, I will oppose that. That's why I want to take over. I am Finley Kanga, your man for this job. Vote me. Next, we're calling candidate for Senate Bernard DJ Blue Benson Jr., like we told you. I don't know if he's being held incommunicado, but the man doesn't answer his phone. That's sad. He's going to the Senate. You got to answer us for serious business. We call Mark A. Kishan, the same thing. Man got phone, he can't answer. I don't know what kind of man that. Our man, Yaka, and not coming nowhere. And so, we are not one of those groups, because NGO don't get money to get out there, we can't do what we want to do. we'll make Potato Green Garden and do it. So if you think you will bluff us, you got a long way to bluff. I don't want you one cent. Look at how I look inside. You able to feed me? So the man who came to our call is candidate for Senate, Sae Joseph. Yeah, I like that. You're living by the rule. Sir, when you arrive, let me know. Is that you?
Of course.
Good. I want to make sure that is you, Sir Joseph. If you are ready for 4 minutes, tell us who you are and a few things you want to do for Monsterrado. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Aspiring candidate of the senatorial by-election, the head of NDR, and our moderators, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me say good afternoon to all. I'm Honorable Sir Joseph, the present representative of the good people of District Number 13, Monsterrado County. I'm here today to discuss to you why I'm the best candidate. I'm presently serving as the representative of District Number 13. Before serving in that capacity, I was able to live in Sierra Leone, and I was able to get a scholarship from the refugee camp supported by the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, where I went to the Institute of Public Administration, APAM, at the University of Sierra Leone, where I read public administration and sociology. Through that, while living in Sierra Leone, I was able to, as a refugee, went to the United States, and I came back, and I was able to get the opportunity to serve as Director for Missions for Africa, where I was entrusted with thousands of United States dollars, and I was able to build 30 schools in Sierra Leone and 30 hospitals as well involved of international missions. With that said and done, I was invited by Ambassador George Manuel Weah after the 2005 presidential election to come to Liberia to help with the present work in Liberia. When I came back, I was in charge of the George Weah Children Foundation as director, where I was given enough of contact, both international and national contact. While in the process, 2011, I was encouraged to go into the race as representative of District Number 13, Monsterrado County. And finally, I won that election. And in 2017, I also got involved, and I got involved into this election that I won. I'm here to bring integrity on the table and implementation. Everything that I have said in the past, that it is about time that this country move forward. We're talking about youth empowerment. Youth empowerment is presently going on. 530 students just graduated from different parts of District Number of Monsterrado County from the MVDC. Talking about job security. As I speak to you, we are providing jobs into different communities. Women empowerment, which is on my platform as a priority. As I speak to you, I went to Todi District, look at the challenges. I provided a truck that worth $20,000 United States dollars to empower the women to bring the crops to town so they can be able to sell them on time. As I speak to you, I am building the capacity of our hospitals and clinics. I just received 150 containers to build a health system in Liberia. As I speak to you, as of tomorrow, we're going to start the distribution of all medical supplies and equipment to build our health system. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, you're still breaking the law. Keep it down. I was a refugee. Silent, are your people making oil? I was a refugee. We fled this country into Sierra Leone. While there, I got an opportunity to go to America. Then I came back and started serving one group there. And I built hospitals and schools in Sierra Leone. And then George Weah called me to come and lead his foundation for children. And he said, look, when I came back, I worked and then I found my way becoming a representative. I've done it twice. I want you to give me a bigger job now. But guess what? I got, what, it say 100 container? Oh, he add 50 then, huh? I'm going to be building the health sector. I wonder the reason my man won't climb up. But guess what he did? They've been throwing hints here you don't understand. My man came, he said, Representative Sir Joseph. Then my man Sir Joseph came, he said, yeah, representative. You understand what's going on? I will not tell you. All right, politics on, and that's all. And he said, yeah, me, y'all vote for me. Sir Joseph, if you think he is, Judah tell it one. All right. Now, next on our list today are the trending issues and address to them. We'll drill you through them. We'll direct you largely. Let's begin with my man Kanga. Kanga, take the podium. We're gonna give you 10 minutes. You got the trending issues? Now on the trending issues, if you are ready, we will begin your 10 minutes, but let's put you there first. Your 10 minutes will begin now. Thank you.
Now, 1 minute. Could you break a little bit? How do you want me to discuss them? Discuss them as they are, or do you want me to discuss them in the context?
Anyway,
all right, now
go ahead.
Well, thank you again. Of course, folks told you things that they have done, but I'll take 1 minute to tell you a little bit some of the things that I've done in this country. And I will name two in particular. For example, the YMCA Computer Training School. I established that school. It's up and running today. We graduated up to 4,555 students. It is still there running. Not only have I done that, when I served as a consultant for the U.S. government, I developed and managed over $100 million project in this country that was actually meant in order to support law reform initiative, including institutions like the Human Rights Commission, including the Land Rights Commission, and including the ERTI, Secretariat, and a number of them. But now discussing the training issue. One of them, which is part of my own platform, will be the issue of community empowerment. I've discussed three of them with you when I discussed job creation, and I discussed a little bit law reform initiative and citizenship and land rights. Now we have the issue that deals with the poor sanitation of our environment. Of course, it's going to be poor because our government has failed over time in order to change from the occupiers. We now have, for example, the Monrovia City Corporation. That corporation is the one that takes care of the garbage within the entire county. That is wrong. As your senator, if I'm elected, I will empower all of our city through laws making that all of our city, when they're included in the budget, we now provide money for them to take care of the waste. That will actually improve the sanitation condition in this country, which is very key and paramount for development. The issue of the social community social development fund. That fund, as a senator, I will change that. Currently, Honorable Saad and his colleagues, they participate in the county sitting. As your senator, I don't want to participate in the county sitting. It's wrong. You cannot allot money while at the same time you go to the benefit for sharing the money. That creates a conflict of interest. That there was a law that was enacted by Honorable Saad and his colleague, the Code of Conduct, that talks about conflict of interest. Conflict of interest is going to be mentioned in there. So in order to actually support that framework will be to have a system where I'm not going to participate in the county's sitting. Now, our health delivery system. Our budget on the health regime is Desmond today. I described Monsterrado. On the draft budget, you allotted $2.5 million to the JFK hospital. You allotted $900,000 to the Redemption Hospital. That is Desmond.
At the time I win as a senator, I'm going to designate 6 months of my salary towards the health sector, particularly the Redemption Hospital. Portion of that money is also going to go towards the fire trucks, fire department in the country, where I want to buy fire jackets for our people. Why do I want to do that within the first 1 or 6 months of my ascendancy as a senator? That will create a framework to enhance my advocacy. The honorable who said there, they have actually have a decimal allotment for the health sector. That is not going to be on my senatorship. I'm going to advocate the increment of our health budget. Not only do we not do that, but we will also increase the budget for our teachers. Now our teachers for law enforcement personnel. That's why as a senator, I'm going to advocate for a law that will create a national security commission. That security commission will be meant in order to create integrity back into our police sector. If that commission is established, they are going to be responsible for recruitment, monitoring, and vetting of police officers, and to actually increase the standard and promote what is referred to as command and control. Armed robbery. Of course, armed robbery is going to go on all the time. When there is an allegation right now that some of those that are in the election with me are printing money right now. So they are undermining the president's attempt to stabilize the economy. Go to the guy houses right now. They got millions of dollars. That's why whenever they go to a community, they give you 200,000, 400,000. Where do they get that money from? It tells you that they are having counterfeit. They are using the counterfeit to undermine the president. And now calling to the minion, the law enforcement authority, to begin to search all of the houses. Search the houses. But how can we search the houses under the framework that we have? I have told our president, you have to declare a state of emergency so that our police will be empowered without a search warrant to move into all of those houses that are printing today. Come to my house and see what it is. Go into all of those who are in the race houses and collect the money that there and get the money and prosecute them. The guys have too much money that they have stolen for us. We cannot get the money in the hands. We have to create a law to get that money for the hands. Now, same-sex business. I've been married for many years. My wife says right there, I have children. I've adopted children. Same-sex marriage, I'm going to oppose that. Those who are in the race who are not married, they need to get married before they can participate in the race. I understand too many people have come to the process. They are not married and they are abusing our girls and our sisters every day. That should stop. If you're not married today, please get married in order to be an honorable. You cannot be an honorable by abusing our girls. Some are even sleeping with our boys. It's unfair. Now discussing women and youth empowerment. That is what in our youth empowerment platform, but not as it been discussed by other people. We need to develop laws that will discriminate against those who have and put them for those who don't have. That is why for the win today, I will support the law. And my colleague, the Honorable Joseph, will support that, wherein we will make it mandatory that people who are disadvantaged people or the handicapped will have compulsory right to jobs. We need to empower those people. Not only are they handicapped, but they are being in society as well. We need to have laws that should be employed. There's a lesser argument that those folks do not have the skill set. As a result, we cannot employ them. I'm going to tell the president, no, please employ them and train them as apprentices. Those people need left. In fact, it is because of the poor budget in the health sector for which those were that way. Our government does not provide so much money for the health sector in a way that people do not get Medicare, and so they produce the children who are deformed. We now have to support them. So to come to the issue of the economy. Now, Liberian and the US dollar, the first thing we have to do is have a state of emergency. Take money away from those who actually have in the houses today, and then pull back. I've told the president, we'll recall the money that was printed, of which some of those are in the race today, they supported that law, and I'm told that they got millions of dollars in the process as bribe in order to do that. So what we now have to do is, we should pull back that money. We should pull back that money and reprint. We do not have to keep that money there, because look in your pocket today, you may have false money. It's done by the wicked lawmakers. Those are serving the committee. Some are contesting today. We have to stop them right now. Now, we want to discuss the issue of dual and open citizenship. I'm not going to opt for that. Our country is a very poor country. One view is to have a reciprocity, where in a country that will take us as citizens will take them. That is a liberal view. Today, I'm not going to take that liberal view. I'm going to take the harsh view
The view is we don't need dual citizenship. It's not our problem. Our problem here is due to misrule, bad governance, corruption, lack of fair play, nepotism, and the rest. We have to tackle our framework. We have to put into play measure and increase the budget for integrated institutions, such as the LCC, so they can do their work very well, such as the Human Rights Commission, such as the ERT. I'm going to support the budget today. In the budget that was made by the Honorable and his colleague, they have zero in there for the LCC. There's zero in there for the Human Rights Commission. There's zero in there for the ERTR. That is bad. Bad lawmaking. That is why we voted as government in the first place. And so I'm not going to support dual citizenship in a form, because the same problem we had before we declared this country as a state, we still have the problem today. There is colonialism in new form ongoing. We now have to protect ourselves. That's why I supported the land right drafting process. That's why I support in its entirety the form it is in, the Land Rights Act. We must support that. To close, you have to select me. You have two opportunities, the black pills and the white pill. The black pill includes all the other people there who have no skill for lawmaking. The white pill is me. I understand lawmaking because I'm a lawyer. I teach law. Where my career focus is teaching people how to read, write, and research in law. And that's why I come to you. Understand the framework, job creation, law reform initiative, citizenship and land rights, and all of that. Please support me. I love you. Thank you.
If you are ready, then your time is rolling. Let's change it quick before we cheat you. Then your time is rolling, beginning now. Michael Tippison.
Well, thank you. The people of Monsterrado County, the 20 issues we have constitute the reason why we want to be your senator. And we will begin with the Social Development Fund of Monsterrado. We have cried out that Monsterrado County being described as the foundation of Liberia over the period beginning 2006, when the presidentially led government instituted the County Development Fund. We've seen discrimination and we've seen misapplication of the County Development Fund. I will tell you what we are going to do if we become senator. Over the period, public officials have used telephone to share and distribute public resources. Like the one you heard, you eat, I eat. If you elect us as your senator, what we are going to do, as senator having supervision over the 17 districts, we will make sure that every district has an allocation of Monsterrado County Development Fund. Because if district number 2 has portion, what are the PMC of the county or the county development superintendent and the superintendent working alone, the district, the DDC, that is the district development committee in every district, they will be able to earmark projects on how to use the county development fund. Better still, if we have a county that is boastful of 19 lawmakers, 17 representatives, and 2 senators, why should Monsterrado County be dark when we have county development fund? Why should flood take over our city, our county, when rain falls, when we have county development fund? Why safe drinking water cannot be provided for our people when we have county development fund? The biggest question is, where is that money going? These are the issues in Monsterrado. And if you need a voice, a senator who will sit over Monsterrado and say, as senator of Monsterrado, having supervision, let the people benefit from their public resources, then you have Tippison standing before you to win your vote. Timeliness of Monsterrado, waste management, and the pollution in our city. Contact the MCC authority. When we were in the States, we linked the MCC authority and we saying it publicly with the Liberia Environmental Partnership Group in Philadelphia, USA. And because we know that the people in Dole community, West Point, Claratown, Red Light, where you find the streets have dikes, we need some kind of policy and partnership. If we are incapacitated as a country to cater to it, then we need partnership to address that, because it's causing pollution and it has some kind of health hazard on our people. If you make us senator, Now we will not be making recommendations just as a private or individual or ordinary citizen from the committee. We will be telling the MCC and the county leadership that waste pollution must be redressed, must be given attention. And you won't see in district number 13 around the market area that is so embarrassing, where pollution is everywhere. Healthcare system. I want you to please give me your attention as we address this. No seated lawmaker should tell you that I do, and you, the people, leave your system poor and you celebrate that lawmaker. We don't want jubilation, we need issues. Barack Obama visited Ghana. He told us that Africa must build strong institutions and not strong individuals. Those lawmakers who take priority of public projects as their own, the day they are not in public office, can they sustain those projects? So let me tell you what we will do. Prior to Ebola, on healthcare, Liberia as a country was never boastful of 5 ambulances. There were people, and there are people at the legislature who are contesting, who are the co-chair committee on public work on the Ministry of Health, that should have screened the Ministry of Health budget to ensure that oversight responsibility is exercised to provide ambulances. They did not do it, but they brought in ambulances and placed their pictures on it. Today, the Ministry of Health, please give us the time. The Ministry of Health is still challenged with ambulances. On our healthcare, we will not, and I restate as Senator in waiting of Monsterrado County or Youth and Student Senator, we will ensure that through the fiscal year of the budget, allocations are made, and when allocations are made, we exercise effective oversight to make sure that institutions are strengthened. We told you as part of our plan, we want to legislate 17 soft fire service stations in the 17 districts in Monsterrado. Why you think the person can tell you that if you elect me as senator, I will bring fire truck to address fire outbreak here? Because we have observed that whenever there's a fire outbreak, the truck will leave from Ashmont Street before they come lives and property are destroyed. But when we legislate it, even if I'm not lawmaker after 6 years, the system is there and government takes responsibility of the system and the institution. So it's not about TPC any longer. It becomes for you, for your good. That is what we've brought to the table. Let's go to the issue of poor roads. Who here is not a living testimony how Dole community have suffered over the years, and young people with fortitude champion the cause that today government was able to intervene and get to our road. In the last 2 nights, I slept in one of the districts, district number 13. We were campaigning to the young people. I was there up to 2 a.m. And I saw the road in District 13. Very bad and deplorable. But that district has a lawmaker. I don't know who the lawmaker of that district. But let me tell you what we will do. Amanda, no noise away too. Let me tell you what we will do. On a road connectivity as a lawmaker, we are not going to tell you that we are going to fix the road. We're writing a bill called Urban Housing and Community Development. As part of our responsibility to make law, we are going to do a bill for government to hugely invest in urban housing and community development. And on community development, New Georgia Estate Road will not be bad. Because if government investing in community, they will see the road because road opens up. Here is a lawmakers in waiting standing before you to help alleviate. Let's go to youth empowerment. Who can do better for a struggling young man in Brewerville, in West Point, in Nikutan, who wakes up in the morning not knowing the outcome of a day, than the person who lives in the community feeling the same brunt of the economic decline? The challenge is yours. On our youth empowerment, we have said to you that the moment you elect us on the 31st of this month as your next senator, we want to introduce Zoco reintegration. And let me tell you, those of you who are not Zoco, what we do. But don't forget, those who are on the streets, who we call Sogos, they are artificial made. Human beings in this country misled the young people, place us into armed conflict, and today we are called Sogos. But they refuse, the system has deliberately refused. Our lawmakers have refused to institute programs to constitute Zogo reintegration, to give our brother back the sense of belonging in our society. As a lawmaker, and not just a lawmaker, but a youth, we are going to create student exchange programs. We are going to reintegrate Zogos into the society. We are going to give our old people human security welfare programs that cater to our people. Travel around. Our leaders travel. They see. I just got back from the States last week Friday. And thank God, one of the contestants said he has lived in the States. So why all the Google things they see in the States, why they can't bring it here? Why? Why? To the people of Monsterrado County, please give us your ears. To the people of Monsterrado County, please allow us to learn and talk well. We are climaxing in the last few seconds. If you admire Julius Malema in the South African Parliament because he's standing for the people of South Africa, I want you to go on the 31st and vote number 7, vote Tepesin, because I have stood for youth and students in this country through advocacy. We will not build schools in Sierra Leone, Mali, Burkina Faso. When we want to build schools, we will build schools in Liberia. Have we, again, no noise please, have we asked our lawmakers, where is the government free and compulsory primary education, of which today the students, the young people are still vulnerable? Thank you. You can leave the celebration with yourself. Thank you.
Do call the best. You ready?
Yes.
Yes, sir. If you are ready, your 10 minutes beginning now on the trending issues.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me say thanks to the colleagues that came here. First of all, I want to make some clarity to one of the contestants that said you're going to increase budget. Looking at the present status of our economy, you cannot continue to increase the budget. So we at the House are not increasing budget. What we are doing is to first of all look at the priorities of our country. What are those priorities? The first thing to do, as number one, as president I'm serving as chairman at the House of Representatives, I was able to make sure to convince my colleagues to make sure that all doctors and nurses who are not on payroll are on payroll. And I can assure you, this government, the coalitions of democratic government, you will never hear doctors and nurses going on strike because all of them have been placed on payroll. So we look at priorities. We will not increase budget in the health sector, but we'll look at priorities to focus there. And the next thing is that somebody said the man built schools in Sierra Leone. The schools that were built in Sierra Leone affected the Liberian people. There were Liberians living in Sierra Leone, and there are still Liberians living in Sierra Leone up to present. All of the 30 refugee camps, I raised money in the United States and built those schools in those refugee camps. And not just schools, clinics. When I was coming home, those Liberians that were there, I turned everything over to the Sierra Leone government to make sure they use it for the internal purpose. And I can assure you, this is why I'm in Liberia. And I continue to do that. Presently, as I was in Liberia, I have constructed 5 schools that are run with donor support from the United States. This country is struggling. We cannot just depend on the budget as a lawmaker. This is why in Monsterrado County, we are coming to discuss what we call sister-city relationship, where we're going to have a city to adopt Monsterrado County, where you're going to see the difference. Presently, look at the waste management. Discussions are ongoing. Few months from now, you will see people running on the street to take waste because there's a company that is coming in Liberia to buy waste management. All of the waste will be purchased and turned into gas. That's what you're going to see. That is a permanent solution with our waste management system in our country. First, you don't have, Winton is not a good place. The people in Winton are struggling. I have been into Winton. The people there are struggling, and we cannot continue to take Monsterrado County waste and take it to Winton. I can assure you we have companies that come in, the government is negotiating. The certain major have gone 2 different times to make sure that the MCC sign an agreement where the waste management will be purchased from the citizen, from the country, and also companies will be found that will collect waste from the various communities and send to those companies so they can purchase it. Now, in the East-Western world, waste are being sold and being used for another purpose. That is the use it for gas. So I can assure the people of Liberia that this government is doing all they can to contain the waste management issue. Somebody spoke about county development funds. Let me say this to you. The county development fund, no lawmaker have the right to any county development fund. Lawmaker don't have control over the county development funds. The county development funds are run by the executive. We have 3 branches of government. We have the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. The lawmakers have no say on the county development fund. Normally when we go to the setting, we always go there as observers. We don't have voting right when we go to the county development funds. Let me say that. And I can assure you, this is why the lawmakers have raised issues and we introduce what we call district legislative projects to make sure that every year districts are focused within the budget. This budget that just passed, each district within the Republic of Liberia had $30,000 United States dollars. Let me say to you, what can $30,000 United States do to develop a district? I just spent, one of the colleague contestants said he went to district number 30 and the roads are bad. I just spent $50,000 United States dollars on my own. I went to the bank, I took that money to manage all of the roads within district number 13. And I did not stop there. I went into district number 14, Doe community, and I gave $100,000 Liberian dollars to the young people where he from, to make sure they use that money to work in the interest of our people there. So I can assure you, we will continue to work in that direction. The training issue, the healthcare delivery. Let me just say this to you. When we say what we bring on the table, we bring integrity on the table, we bring connection on the table. There's no way any lawmaker can make a difference when you don't have international assistance. And this is why we bring it on the table. For the past years, I have shown integrity to the international community. I have been able to prove beyond reasonable doubt that whatever they gave me is being used for the intended purpose. When I was in the United States, I received a donations of 12 ambulances to bring to Liberia. I appealed to the government of Liberia. They refused. They said they don't have money to ship those ambulances. When I came back to Liberia, I went to the bank and I took money from the bank to pay for the ambulances. When I received when the ambulances came to Liberia, I got them. The government asked me to pay taxes to the border. And I felt so bad why they allowed me. I have to take additional money to make sure I free the ambulances. Now, after the ambulances came out, when Ebola came to Liberia, the government asked me to sell the ambulances to them. I'm a man of integrity. Under no condition that donations will be made to me and then I will sell those donations. This is why those ambulances were used for the intended purpose. As I speak to you now, anybody want any of those ambulances, as I always speak, it's there, it's parking, go and take it. And if you even want anything outside of the district, call me, I will help you. I went into district number 14. I spoke to the lawmaker that I have equipment to open the hospital in Doe community. As I speak to you, Doe community don't have a clinic. The lawmaker refused that I should go back in my district. He can now allow me to open the clinic there. As I speak to you, distribution of equipment begins tomorrow. If anybody can say this, I'm ready to go into Doe community even now today to supply them with equipment so that the clinic can be open. I'm saying to the people of Liberia that I need a bigger platform. I need to be in charge of Monsterrado County so that I can make sure we continue to do what we have started. I can assure you that the Monsterrado County you see today, you're going to see a new Monsterrado County. You will see a Monsterrado County where our young people will have the opportunity to education. In district number 13 and other districts, I went on state radio and announced whoever wants to go to MVDC should come and come and attend. I was able to lobby with companies within district number 13 to be able to help more than 530 students around Monsterrado County. Let me tell you something.
I'm about Monsterrado County is the richest district in Liberia. We are about to introduce the corporate social responsibility. We're going to make sure that every district where there's companies, we're going to make sure that they pay the corporate social responsibility to the community. District number 17, where we are now. District number 17, they are digging same money. The Chinese are digging same money. How much money district number 17 is benefiting from this same money that is ongoing here? That's what we're talking about. District number 14, where one of the Makotebesi is, they have more than 60 or 70 companies based in that district. Not a day that any corporate social responsibility have been paid to the people of that district. I can assure you, as Senator of Monsterrado County, my office will be situated within district number 14 and making sure that all companies pay their corporate social responsibility to make sure that we work in the interest of our people. Somebody spoke about lawmaking. We pass on fake laws. If you don't understand the running of the house, as a lawyer, you come and learn. You have to understand the running of the house. You don't just shout in the house and because you feel a shouting. In the house there are procedures. And let me say to you, first of all, same-sex marriage have been criminalized by the National Legislature of the 5th Tier. Under no condition that we'll ever accept that in our tradition. This is why members of the 5th Tier make sure that we criminalize same-sex marriage. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, candidate for Senate. Sir, it's just he said, don't make noise in the house until you know what in the house. If all those things I said are good for you, Judah 31. Now, there are things you ran away from, you did not touch, 3 of you. You dodged some of the things small, we will nail you to them. Our man, our partner from Partner Radio, Truth FM, co-moderator Jacob Abian, will drill them through questions. He got questions there that he will take them through. Bring the mic to him.
Candidates, this is direct interaction on issues that we believe if you talked about it, but we want more further detail from you. So we'll give you the opportunity. One question will go across the same way so that all of you can make some responses. And I want you to listen very keenly. Number 1 question. Liberia's economy is currently in a very bad shape. High inflation on goods and services. The high exchange rate on the Liberian dollar to that of the US dollars. When elected, candidate Sir Joseph, beginning with you at this time, what will be the solution that you proffered in mitigating this high economic hardship that has been experienced by all Liberians, except maybe for you in leadership?
Thank you. As we know now that the present inflation in the market is being politicized, because there are individuals who are every day putting out numbers that today this is 171, the next day they put 165, but there are systems that the government is about to put in place. But let's look at, first of all, what are the root causes of those things. Presently, Liberia, let me say Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Ghana, and Africa Coast depend on Liberia for United States dollars. Liberia is the only country that receives United States dollars even by Western Union or MoneyGram. So you notice that all other countries send money directly here and they come by road. There have been no law, the law have not been enforced to make sure that the amount of money that leave the borders are being specified on.
For the instance, in the United States, you can't move out of the United States for more than 10,000 United States dollars. In Liberia here, you even get 100,000. You can fly with it. It have to stop. We need to stop that. That's one of the things that we need to do. Again, as I speak to you, the goods that we need to concentrate on. We should tell our people, as a government, we need to focus on making sure that the commodities that are needed within the market should be purchased in Liberian dollars. And what are those communities? The gasoline should be purchased in Liberian dollars at the LPRC. Rice should be purchased from the sale holders in Liberian dollars. You don't allow market women to go and start purchasing rice and gasoline. After they sell, they have to change it to United States dollar before they go back to purchase it. I think we need to make sure that we bring in laws so that we can curtail the inflation within our market.
Thank you.
Hello. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So, now, what proposal we have in order to tackle inflation, the continuing inflation that is actually causing harm to others, even men here. Those who are currently empowered are those who do not actually feel the pinch that we are experiencing on a daily basis. Now, were you to elect me today as your senator, these are a number of measures, some of which are proposed already, that we have to take into consideration. The first thing to do is, within the short run, is to pull back the new currency that was just printed, that was approved by the Honorable and his colleagues. We shall record that money. Now, by recording that money, it's going to create a framework wherein we as a people can begin to think how. Now, in its place, we use the currency that we attempted to replace. That could be step one. Step two, in dealing with that issue, you may have heard that the Honorable said there's no law in this country in terms of taking money out of the country. Honorable, I honorably disagree with that. Under our current laws, under the banking and finance law, is that in order to travel with money out of this country, you must use the banking system. But if you need to travel with cash, it cannot be above 10,000 US dollar. So if you have a system in place that you are taking more than 10,000 US dollar, the government is going to confiscate that money and they are going to take a percentage on our laws. That's what the law is today. And so that is in the short run. In the long run, how to tackle this inflation and get it up way. I will support the law wherein the issue of dual currency will become history. We need to have a single currency regime in this country. Now, within the long run, and on that single currency regime is going to be termed the Liberian dollar. Now, there are discussion already, Liberia discussion with West Africa, ECOWAS, wherein there's a discussion that we may print a currency that may be called ECO, or whatever name that is going to be. If we reach that point, which is in the long run, and if we print ECO, giving the community, it's a big community, and Nigeria has a huge reserve, that currency could probably help to stabilize inflation within the region, given that it's going to be a region or community currency. But that's within the long run. But what we have to do in the middle term is to get a single dollar, the Liberian dollar, and then we do not have a dual currency. So again, to conclude on that, what we do in terms of that will be one, pull back the money that was recently printed through an executive order, and like I said earlier, and it's an emergency, and then we have to get a law that wouldn't do that. Now, the third thing, the last thing, and finally, another thing we do not do is to begin to now start shifting our attention on ourselves, what we can do as a people. So we now have to prioritize agriculture, for example, wherein we grow more cassava as our staple food. We did it before Firestone came, and so we can now have Lord to support that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Tipisi?
Thank you. As a matter of fact, I am not an economist, but I do regular consultation with senior policy economists in the country. And I was told, and from what we've read, the first thing, if people in authority realize that neighboring countries do not accept if a foreign currency that the US dollar entered the republic to be given to you in US, then don't complain if you are in authority in Liberia that it is politicized. I'm aware of the responsibilities of the legislature under Article 34. I am going to make the maximum use of the responsibilities of a lawmaker. We are going to propose, it's in two ways, short term and long term. Currently, or at the moment, we are going to propose as a lawmaker that let all materials be purchased in Liberian dollars. That if you want to send the money, even in US dollar here in Liberia, it be given to you in Liberian dollars. And then I agree with Brother Kanga that in the long run, even though we all know the supremacy of the US economy, but we must be able to give value to our local currency. As we speak, the economy is in recession. We see our local currency has been devalued. So in order to have a stable economy, what we need to do, we need to have a single currency. And the last time I listened to people at the legislature saying that the US dollar should be our currency. We are not in the United States of America. We are in the Republic of Liberia. So why we cannot give priority to our US dollars or to our Liberian dollars? So in answering this question, we think if anybody gave an excuse that is politicized, then they are not exercising their responsibility as a lawmaker, because you are there to make sure that what is happening, you make projections. I do policy prescription for public good, and that's the reason why I want to go to the legislature, that when there's a problem, we make law to make sure that that problem is solved for the general good. Thank you.
Thank you, Tibison. Thank you. No clapping. We said that to you. Our next issue, the Liberian government recently entered a $500 million loan with a financing institution called Elton Financing. That fund is intended to link Liberia's capitals, all of Liberia, 15 counties capitals, with paved roads. Candidates, beginning with you, Michael Tibison. What will you do with oversight that this money will not end up being misused or in people's pocket?
Thank you. We have cried out that over the years, what we've seen in Liberia is corporatocracy. Companies using the Liberian government against its own people. What we will do to make sure that this amount is used as part of our oversight, the agreement is big. And many times we have observed that when agreements are signed, people or lawmakers don't look into what they have signed into law. And so those people who come to do the business in Liberia, our concessionaires, go against what they have signed. Under our oversight, we will be robust. We will be strong in our voice. That even though it is the responsibility of the executive to implement, but we too are cognizant of our oversight responsibility. And so as part of oversight, we will follow the process with patriotism, ensuring that whatever that is agreed upon is followed in the agreement and with the Liberian government. That will be our role as a lawmaker, to make sure that what is signed and agreed upon, we act upon it, and there be no unorthodox interventions that will thwart the development progress of the state. In conclusion, we are satisfied with the building of roads to connect our counties and cities, because it has been something that has been of public interest for a long time. But we all did see what has been happening at the legislature. We were here when Mo Stevens said that 68 concessions were signed and 66 did not meet international best practice. What has been the position of a lawmaker? Tibison will not be business as usual.
Thank you, Michael Tibison.
Thank you.
Thank you. Finley Kanga.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tibison, for an excellent discussion. I would like to follow out in terms of my take on the deal. The first thing that I will have to do, because I'm a lawyer, I will review that law in its entirety, and I will want Monsterrado to actually review that law. The first thing is Monsterrado did not have adequate representation when that law was entered into. So given that the tenure expire for which a a replacement senator should have been done, we have to review that law, firstly, to ensure that Monsterrado participation is going to be felt in the negotiation. Once that is done, as part of the review process, I will be interested in knowing what will be the design. What kind of road are we going to build? What is the infrastructure? Is it going to be like the Gannonville Road, Sport Turbo Dream of getting a 6-lane road there? Or is it going to be like what is done in Jalastan to reduce the road that was also done there? So we first have to review that to know the size of the road in terms of the width. I will also be interested in knowing the duration. How long is the road going to last if it's even built in the first place? Now, having studied those, then I'm going to know the employment framework. How many Liberians are going to be employed in there? What is the oversight mechanism? And if I find problem with those that require Monsterrado participation, I'm going to now have a process to modify that law. It needs modification. Whilst overall we support the building of roads, but we don't know the details, the meat in there. There is something that the Honorable Hekolia did not actually do well for us. We did not see the law. As we talk right now, I've not seen the law. It is not on e-mansion. I usually go for the law. So that is a problem. We get that law available right now. Whether you elect me today or not, I'm going to review that law. And if it does not meet what it takes for a law of such kind, we can initiate process to have a review. Thank you.
Finley Kanga. Sir Joseph.
Thank you. First of all, I was the one that made the motion to make sure that the people of Southeastern received a very good road. I make the motion, and I also voted in favor of that particular finance agreement. And this is one of the best finance agreement ever. When somebody said they haven't seen the law, I think you should go and ask. You have your responsibility to go to the ministry to ask them for the law. What is good about this particular law, first of all? There is a law when the coalitions, the Democratic team say we are coming up with a pro-poor agenda. This, first of all, the loan agreement, when it's signed into law, after 7 years before it affects the Liberian government, the Liberian government will not pay interests on this particular loan until after 7 years, which means it's possible that this road can be completed before the 7 years. And whereas the Liberian people will start to benefit before we start to pay. Today, our forefathers that have left us, you see the road connection. It is, first of all, it's not a responsibility of lawmakers to build roads. But we bring ourselves to that level because we represent the people directly. We the one the people see. It's the responsibility of the executive to implement. So, in making sure that this financing agreement works very well, first of all, here what we have done. All contracts should be given to Liberians. That is local contract. Let's take, for instance, the security. The security while the construction is ongoing. The security network contract will be given to only Liberians company. Materials contract will only be given to Liberian company. We stand to benefit more than whoever is going to benefit after since when they get the loan back. And I can assure you, in fact, portion of that road network also state that those on the pathway of the road, when the horses are breaking down, they will build a new home for them. So they also stand, the people of Southeastern also stand to benefit from the passage of this particular loan. And I can assure you, I want you to trust this government. This government is on the road path. They can assure you that they will deliver in the interest of a people.
Thank you.
Don't cut the man off again.
Thank you. Stay on issues of concern to us has to do with the rising wave of drug importation, use and abuse, and the effect it has on the youth of Liberia. Candidates, Sir Joseph, beginning with you. What will you do with the current wave of drug importation in our country and the use by these young people who could someday be like you?
Thank you. First of all, the issues of use of drug in Liberia is a major concern and is really a problem to our society. And this is why today you have our young people
which I will never call the name Zogos. They are part of our society. They are young people. I will not call them Zogos. First of all, what they are do, in my district, I call all upon the drug sellers. I call them to my house and I have a meeting with them. In order to find a solution to any problem, you should first of all know the root cause of those problems. So I sat down with those that are in my district selling drugs and said, look, how can you stop what you are doing, and how can we find a way forward? Why can't you look for another business that you can do? And these guys express themselves that if they are given the opportunity to have either jobs, or they are given the opportunity to make sure that they get into other business, they're waiting to stop it, because there will be no buyer if there's no seller. So the first thing we need to do is to make sure that we put to stop all those that are selling. And in the bigger picture, there are people who are also bringing them by borders, through the borderline. This is why this government is working on as priority one, is to make sure to strengthen our security system. Presently, our borders, they are empty. You have thousands of roads to some of our borders. And the government is looking at possibility. And one of the things that we are pushing forward now in the house with the drug situation is to make sure that whoever is caught selling drugs should be considered in jail for 5 years. This is something that we're discussing. But there are measures we need to put in place, first of all, to encourage them, to make sure we bring them into different businesses, give them donation loans so they can work on that. And then as we take that decision, then we come up again to pass up a law that will make sure that we don't allow drugs coming to our society, because it's killing our young people.
Kanga?
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable. Talking about that, I'm actually a little bit confused that the Honorable has been having dialogue with drug seller in an attempt to get them to change from their habit. Now, I was told that they will be discussing how can we develop policy that will be meant in order to even prevent that. Now, there are a number of measures that I will support, which I'm supporting right now through my advocacy. We have to firstly ensure that we have a National Security Commission established, as I propose. That commission, when established, will be meant to regulate and supervise the appointment and the operation of security personnel, including police, so that we take politics away from the law enforcement personnel, so the folks in there can do the job. Now, once that is done, the other thing as a short-term measure will be that all vehicles, including lawmakers' vehicles, should be checked on a regular basis. Those are the guys that go and get the drugs from the border and take them. You may follow that one EPS vehicle was arrested at one of our borders for bringing in drugs. It tells you how, because the lawmakers do not follow the rule of driving, so the police allowed them to go. The reason that's happening is because the police is on a political situation. We need to get the police from out of there, firstly, and then to have a security commission that will employ them. Now, the last thing we then do is we support my issue of supporting a framework where Liberians should actually control the economy. Once you have the Liberian controlling the economy, and where we are going to now prohibit, let me just conclude quickly, prohibit foreigners from engaging in that market, it's going to create new opportunity for our people to get opportunity to engage into healthy and legal business processes. Thank you.
Thank you. Timothy?
Thank you. I'd like us not to sway this debate into a space where it presents itself as if we are at Mika press briefing. We have not come to discuss government for people to be defending government. Don't pass solidarity from us here. On the issue, I agree that if we want to have a proper system, those who are at the echelon of power must equally be checked. One instant you can consider as an empirical tool that they are equally part players is the issue where a presidential motorcade was allegedly accused of transporting drugs. So what we need to do, I think we need to create some kind of criminal laws. If we have recognized that it is affecting the young generation, and because there's a proverb that says that what we are today is as a result of what we did yesterday, and who we become tomorrow determine what we do today. So if our youth are involved into drugs and it's been brought into the country, facilitated allegedly by people who are at the higher ups in government, then we must create a law that will, if possible, criminalize the importation of drugs in our country. That if you are arrested, the same way they will take a man who raped to jail, you are taken exactly to jail. Thank you very much.
No clapping, please. Stay on the issue of youth. Stay on the issue of youth. Liberia's youthful population is put at 65%. These youths need education, but with the limited educational facilities in the country, it appears to be bled for their education. Candidate Michael Tibbetson, beginning with you. What will you do to increase educational facilities and access to education for our youthful population?
We remain unapologetic when we say, as a youth and student senator, we want to make sure that free and compulsory primary education is proactive, pragmatic, and effective. First of all, the Liberian law is clear about education, that 30% of our national budget every fiscal year must be trickled towards education. Thank God we have a seated lawmaker here. Have we exercised that over the last 12 years? The answer is a resounding no. A resounding no. But yet and still, we see students fail in WAEC because support is not given to education. As part of education, if we are elected, we have already told the young people that we are going to construct a modern library so that they be resourceful. So what we're going to do, we are firstly going to push towards the full implementation of the law that calls for 30% of the budget to be trickled towards education. Because when it is going towards education, we will have laboratories and libraries. Our students will not be reading about Namibia and they haven't seen Namibia before. So in conclusion to this question, we want to make sure that free, compulsory, and primary education is effective. We want to make sure that government trickle toward the construction of schools and not an individual, because again, if I person tell you that I will become senator and erect 30 schools, the day I'm not senator, those schools will go down the drain. So if it is on a government, government will be able to sustain our schools. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tibbetson. Finley?
Sir, would you restate the question? Thank you.
The question has to do with Liberia's youthful population. It's estimated at 65%. Those youths need education, but we have the current education facility are limited. And the question is, when you become senator, what will you do to increase access to education and the availability of more educational facilities for the youth?
Thank you very much. And again, as I followed the discussion, now as part of our platform and our discussion on education is so clear. Thank you for starting the law a little bit, but just to correct you, the current law, as was enacted by our honorable House of Representatives of our government, is at 25%. The law is 25% of our budget should be allotted to education. But interestingly, our past government described the education system as a mess. And then recently, our current president said our education system is challenged. And so he was discussing trying to get 6,500 teachers in the system. Great idea. However, when he submitted the budget to the national legislature, he fell flat on his face. The budget, as it stands today, education support is around 10 to 11%. That is decimal. It actually flawed the law. The law is 25%. You are there. As a lawmaker, if elected, I'm going to advocate that we stay within the 25% as provided for by law. But some of the things I'd like to see quickly, like I'm going to support, will be creating access for folks who leave high school. I'd like to see the Monrovia Vocational Training Institute be decentralized. We need to have one in Tori, the Tori Vocational Institute. We know a lot budget for that. We need to have one here in Broadville, in my hometown, the Broadville Technical Vocational Institute. We need one in Bentall as a starting point, so that our people have asset to that. And then the second thing is we need to increase the teacher's salary, because I'm a teacher, but I'm a victim. For example, what I make so Desmond, it's so challenging for me. So we have to think about increasing the teacher salary in ways and manner that will ensure that we enhance and promote effective and efficient education. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanga. Joseph, your turn.
Thank you. This is why when I enter in the House during the 53rd National Legislature, I introduced a bill making sure that all schools in Liberia, first of all, go on training programs. That is, schools teachers should first of all go through a teacher training programs. That's number one. The bill say again that all teachers, be a private school and government school, all schools in Liberia, teachers should be paid by the government of the Republic of Liberia. That's the only solution we're going to have in today's school. Schools are being used as business. We must be honest in finding solution to our problem. Anybody can jump up and open a school. It took me years to open one school in Sierra Leone. It took me in the mountain to open a school in Liberia. Because there are no law, you have to first of all look at the guidelines to make sure that these lines are put together to make sure that you go through. But let me say to you, this is why we have been able to put in place, I introduced that bill. Before you open a school, you must also first of all prove that you have the capacity to open a school. Who is the principal of the school? You have even 9th graders serving as principal for a school. Then you expect teachers to pass? Let's be honest, it's not going to work. You see 12th graders serving as even principals for school. It's not working. Let the government of Liberia allow all of the teachers to be paid by the government, and make sure before you go on government payroll, you are trained and qualified. You also have one teacher teaching to 5 schools to meet up with end means. What are they going to produce when they are teaching? I have a school system in Liberia. My school system, the teachers are paid by my friends in the United States. Every year they send the budget, and then the budget is controlled by the board. The school run from primary to high school to 12th grade. Registration for 12th graders is $2,000 Liberian dollars. Kindergarten from 6th grade below is free. The school have been in existence. I have the schools. I have a school in New Georgia Estate, more than 2,000 students. I have a school in Mount Barclay. I have a school in Clash Island. Go and see for yourself. I can show you where those schools last, and they are paid by donors from the United States.
Thank you.
And our teachers are directly trained by our friends from the United States.
Thank you, Sir Joseph. Candidate Joseph. Thank you. Finally, from my end, reports have it that Liberia has a huge number of street children. A huge number of street children. You can see them among and between cars. You can see them in community, and their plight is put at vulnerable. Candidate Sir Joseph, beginning with you, what will you do to change the current plight and status of street children in Liberia that is estimated very high? Thank you.
Thank you. With the number of street children we have today is a major problem for our parents and our government. It will be impossible for government to find 100% solution to that. One of the best ways we can find solutions to it is to make sure that we empower our mothers that will be able to take responsibility to make sure they take care of our brothers and little brothers and sisters. I think that would be the permanent solution. I remember I once invited organizations that work with street children in Liberia. One of the things that we need to do is that, to make sure that we hold people accountable to donations that come to Liberia. A lot of funding come to Liberia for children. But where are those funding? UNICEF got more than 200 million that come to Liberia to support children. But where we still have our children struggling today. Go into orphanage, they are not being supported. I think we need to hold accountable
individuals who bring in funding and also make sure that we help in finding solution to those things.
Thank you, Joseph. Finley Kanga, candidate.
Thank you. The scenario you discussed is a failure of our lawmakers to add the appropriate policy in order to curtail that. We are to be elected today as your lawmaker. We have to take into consideration a framework where in place where government can put into place a regime to cater to street children. We can build home. Other than relying on orphanages, the government can build home that can collect these children and actually get them to be better citizens. That happened in many places. Recently, it's our inside Africa, and that happens there. We can do the same. The only thing we have to do in order to do that is to pull back vehicles from public officials. We generate a lot of money from them. When we pull back those vehicles from them, then we have enough money to put into homes, because it doesn't make sense allotting $30 million today to buy cars for government officials, while at the same time, folks are in the street. And that's why I've said, do not conduct the festivity for July 26th when our people are all in the street. Take all that money, build home for our children, not only in Monsterrado, because Monterrado in particular, but it's all over Liberia. So build home as a starting place and support my Lord that seek to empower Liberians by giving them the opportunity to own business and get foreigners away from that market. That will ensure that parents will get jobs, and then they can now begin to fend for the children. And that's the way we have to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanga. Finally, Tippison, Michael.
It pains me when we see at this public discourse people lying. No, let's be serious. It pains me that people come and call places where things don't exist. Better still, let's answer the question. As a lawmaker, we stay on oversight. We have the Ministry of Gender and Social Welfare. Have we asked ourselves in this country, where is the welfare component of the Ministry of Gender, and what are they involved with? We will work as a lawmaker, as Senator of Monsterrado, we will ensure that the Ministry of Gender and Social Welfare, that the welfare component factored in it children who are on the street, and we found solution to their problems. Thank you.
Now, each of them will ask 2 questions to each and a rebuttal. So you ask 2 questions and you reject one that somebody will say. You don't know 2 rebuttals, 1 rebuttal. Who wants to begin first? Question for who? Yes. Take the podium. Duke or the best? Taking a break to be back. We're back today at Brewerville City Hall. Monsterrado senatorial by-election debate number 1. So Michael Tippison is standing by for who? Michael?
Representative Sir Joseph.
Sir Joseph. So what a noise for now? Thank you, Eric. Now sit down and listen keenly. Oh, this side is noisy. Now we'll begin to pull you outside one by one, because I can stand here and see who making noise. And nobody is supposed to sit in the crowd and tell somebody you're lying. We see you do that again, you will go outside. This is not a place for profanity. We don't accept that. That's why we got the police here for you. Thank you. All right, so Tippison?
Yes, sir.
Question number 1 to Sir Joseph.
Well, thank you and welcome, Honorable Sir Joseph. The question is simple. Do you really love this country and believe in the pro-poor agenda? I know you will say yes. If yes, why have you decided, or why do you want to place our country into wasteful spending when the roads, schools, and health system are all bad, and that money could be used to address them. That's one.
Yeah, but that question is unclear. How is he wasting government money? How is the man going to waste government money? You have to say that.
Okay. He's the current representative of District 13.
Now you're cooking.
Should in case mistakenly he wins. I hope that we are protected.
You are protected.
Mistakenly, if he wins, why does he want to place our country, the economy that he has agreed is in recession, things are bad, prices are high? Why you want for our people or this country to spend another money in District 13? And then the question to
no, let him answer this one. Then your second come and you close it up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Raise him. Raise this mic.
Thank you, Maka. First of all, we need to understand that this is not about job. This is about services to the people of Liberia. When you talk about wasteful spending and what others have been saying is at least today you have voices or at least you know who are those talking about it. But listen to me. If we're really honest about it, why do we want to have a by-election? So why can't you people sign a resolution that let the CDC appoint somebody? Because when you do that, it will be going against the Constitution of Liberia. Don't forget, if you do that, if you sign a resolution that let CDC appoint somebody, which you don't want to do, but you only want Sir Joseph out of the race, you'll be going against the Constitution of Liberia. But the issue is, your concern is Sir Joseph. It's my constitutional right. And I have a bigger platform than you to work with the people of Monsterrado County, which I have proved beyond reasonable doubt. When these days, when things were difficult in this country, I took every resources that I have. You also stated that I was lying. I have 5 schools. You can visit my campuses. You will see those schools. They are in existence. Those schools are not in Haiti. And as I told you, they are paid. Teachers are paid directly by donors.
Thank you. Next question, if you've got.
I work at the legislature in the office of 2 different lawmakers. I work as special assistant in the office of the current speaker before Representative Beaufort Chambers and former Representative Sokan Tia. And when I was at the House in the office of Representative Chambers, we did a bill called Educational Equity Bill. And I heard you talking about a bill that you did as a lawmaker on our education. Do you mind to tell the people what's the title of that bill that you did not mention?
An act to revise the educational law of Liberia. That act is also in existence in Sierra Leone. That every teachers in Sierra Leone are paid by the government of Sierra Leone. There's an idea that was successful. And this is why I brought the idea in Liberia. The only way schools will run in a better move in Liberia, the teachers should be paid, be a private school, be a government school, they should be paid by the government of the Republic of Liberia.
Follow-up question to that?
No. We said no. Only 2 questions. Now, do you reject anything he said in one rebuttal? No, why no?
I strongly stand to disagree that there is a law passed as he stated.
Why
I want to publicly
that?
challenge it. I have been at the legislature. We have followed the legislature closely. So what we have been saying, we know. There is no such law that was introduced by him as such. And I challenge at the next debate, if he can produce a hard copy of that law that was signed, I will withdraw from the race and support him.
Okay.
That's the challenge.
All right, so listen now. You have to be quiet here or we'll ask you out. Nobody stand over there again. You don't stand anymore. Honorable Joseph, you got 2 questions and a rebuttal for him.
Let me give his rebuttal.
His rebuttal.
Yeah.
All right.
First of all, you hear him saying that he was a staffer for one of my colleagues. So I think he was not taking note for my colleague at all. Because in the legislature, staffers, they take note, they bring the agenda to know the runnings of the House. So I think you are not taking note for Honorable Beaufort Chambers at all.
Thank you. Any question?
I have no question.
No question? No. You both back off. Thank you. Honorable Joseph. Or if you think you... Any question? Hey! We're waiting for you. Any question? Go there. Y'all may flower here, I beg y'all. Any of your two CDC people? But I see group. Kanga.
Thank you. I would like to have a dialogue with...
We're not hearing the man because you're noisy.
I would like to have a dialogue with Mr. Tippett.
If you don't keep quiet, your time coming for question will just cut it off. You have to be quiet. Yes, sir. Who do you want to talk to?
Right. I'd like to have a dialogue with Mr. Tippison.
Tippison, come on. Michael, you were on your man back. Somebody come on your back. All right. Kanga to Tippison. On Duco debates, number 1, debate 1, Monsterrado senatorial by-election. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Tippison. Thanks for coming to this question with me.
Thank you.
Now, through all your discussion, as I sat and listened to you, most of the interaction were discussing the issue of your community. And given that Monsterrado cuts across all of our 17 districts, why were you then specifically focused on your community? Is that discriminatory or what?
Thank you. If you did listen to me well, when we made emphasis on the establishment of the 17 sub-fire service station in the 17th district, it defeats the question. And as a matter of fact, we are not segregative. But more to that, we must be able to protect our local communities and promote it. Those communities just being used as a case study for the rest of Monsterrado. So we have the plans we outlined, every area in Monsterrado and even across the Republic of Liberia was reflected. But you must have, I did research method. They will ask you, what's the methodology you use? What's your case study? So the community has been used continuously as the case study. But down in every community, there's a plan. And when we spoke about the county development fund, we were clear. We said that it will be decentralized so that effort be made in every district. With the 17 representatives and the 2 senators, we will come together and make sure, and as senator of Monsterrado County, who will not compromise, we will make sure that what is for the people will be given to the people. And I want to, in passing, strongly disagree that lawmakers have no association with the county development fund. If that is the case, let us ask ourselves, where were they when they were discussing you will eat this one or eat that one? They attend county setting. I told you I work at the legislature. When we go to Maryland, when I used to work with Representative Chambers, we can attend county setting and we can be there with the county leadership to make allocation for every district. So nobody should come and tell us what is not true. Thank you.
Question number 2.
There's not a question. I now have my rebuttal.
Number 2.
I have one question.
And a rebuttal.
Correct.
Yes, of course.
Thank
Still
you.
Your entitlement.
Well, I find it as a very strange practice, given that Honorable Tippison seemed to reflect his entire discussion on the district. Monsterrado has 17 districts.
And that's your rebuttal now.
Right.
Yes.
And so it is important that as a lawmaker, you need to understand the needs of our people, and that's why I understand. That's why I've told folks that if I am to be elected as their senator, I'm going to support the process of decentralizing the Monrovia Vocational Training Center, to have a Tori Vocational Training Center, to have a Broadville Vocational Training Center, and also to have a Bentall Vocational Training Center as a startup. Thank you.
Any question now?
I have one question. I have another question for...
One more question for him?
No.
No? But you got a question for...
Correct.
Sir Joseph?
Yes.
Tippison, do you want to hit him?
Yes, I want to hit him.
Yeah.
It's a rebuttal.
You got 2 questions only for him.
It's a rebuttal.
It's a rebuttal? Yeah, you're still entitled to that.
I see what a rebuttal.
Councillor Kanga.
No, you got a rebuttal for you, no problem.
He didn't ask me a question.
That's not the point. You don't control this business. We do. He has a rebuttal and 2 questions.
Okay.
If he does not ask question, fine, but he's entitled to his rebuttal.
Councillor Kanga, your plans may appear good. There is one difference between us as we stand now. When we have been fighting for the protection of human dignity, speaking for youth, making intervention, you were not around. We have been tried and tested, that we have proven that we are uncompromising and cannot be tear-guarded. And we need a character like Tipeson at the legislature.
Where was he when you were advocating?
What?
Where was he? You said he was not around.
Perhaps that's the time he was in South Africa. Let us still in conclusion. We don't want for our people in Radio Land to vote DJ Blue. We don't want our people in Radio Land to vote Mark Kishan. We don't want our people in Radio Land to vote Joseph and Francis. We don't want our people to vote Representative Sir Joseph. And we don't want our people to vote for you. We want our people to vote for Tipeson.
You have a rebuttal.
Hey, you got a question for Sir Joseph? Yeah. Sir? Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Honorable Joseph, aside, I have one question for you. Recently, we were involved in the budget debate and the passage of that budget. Now, what is the rationale that you will give this audience for which you discriminated against all the cities in Monsterrado and only included there Monrovia and Painesville?
What's the question again?
You were a member of the folks who recently approved our budget, correct? Now, if that is true, why did you discriminate against all of our cities in Monsterrado, but only included 2? That is Monrovia and Painesville.
Oh, for the budget?
For the budget.
Well, to be specific.
To be specific, that is count 2 of our expenditure, 2.0. It's called municipal sector. Are you aware of the budget? You seem not to be aware of the budget.
First of all, let me make it clear.
His mic is not on.
The mic is on. You're hearing yourself. Raise the honorable mic.
Honorable Philly, let me say this, that the House run by committees. And I'm serving as the chairman on the Health Standing Committee at the National Legislature. And when I say I'm serving as chairman on the health committee, I'm talking about the entire health system in the Republic of Liberia. My responsibility was to make sure that when I speak, whatever action that I'm going to put up, I was discussing basically the health budget. And as committee chairman, that's what every House member have a committee that they report to. So what my focus have been in the House is to make sure priority number 1, which is the proper agenda in the health system, making sure that instant number 1, that will make sure all of our nurses and doctors are taken care of on payroll, that there will be no strike action again. So that was my major concern, and that was my priority. They have workings. Unfortunately, you want to go to the Senate, and you need to understand the way the House run.
I think you're not answering his question. His question is, budgetary allocations were made for only 2 cities here in the budget. That's what he's talking about.
If you don't know, you don't answer.
Monrovia and Painesville.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
The reason is that it's the responsibility of lawmakers that are situated within that city to write a communication.
Okay.
If you write a communication requesting for your city, then they will consider your city.
Okay.
It's the responsibility of lawmakers for in that district to say, I want my city to make sure that they benefit. So that's how you work in the House.
Is there a reporter to that?
Correct.
And you're only reporter?
Correct.
Yes.
Well, Ms. Honorable Joseph, it seems that you are not following the laws that you are actually enacting. That's what it appears to me. You don't seem to understand the budget law. The budget law has got 11 expenditure sections, and the second section is 2.0. That is the municipal sector. there where you have seated. In that budget, you place in there FACANs. You place the National Disaster Committee. You also place in that budget the National Identification System on a city. You also place in there Monrovia City. And the lastly, you place in Pinsville. That is certain, because that portion is not for those sessions. In that portion, you should place in all of our city. But just to correct you, Mr. Joseph, Honorable Joseph, is the fact that all of our cities were enacted by legislation. They don't need to write a letter. You should know the law. You should ensure that the laws are implemented. That's why I'm going to go in there to ensure that we follow our laws, because you don't have the skill. Now, more so, in this country, I have been an advocate. I've been advocating the country for the past 20 years. It's saddening to know that someone is telling me that I'm being in South Africa. I'm not in South Africa. I've been making laws, supporting laws making in this country.
For that man.
So that's the framework that we have. So it's unfortunate that we have a framework that folks are not finding the development in the country.
Thank you, Kanga. Thank you.
Can I conclude?
Yeah, you're actually rebutting that man, not him.
No, I'm rebutting him.
No, but that man didn't say you were in South Africa. That man said it.
That is in passing. That is in passing. So I have advocated for an inclusive budgetary framework. That's what I supported and advocated the establishment of the National Human Rights Commission. That would have done that. Please read the law, Honorable Sir. You pass a law that discriminates against and set it. At the point I'm elected, we're going to review that to place all our in our budget. Thank you.
Let me give a rebuttal to that.
You have a right to a rebuttal.
Let me say to the honorable man, let me say this to you. There are priorities within the national budget, and those priorities based on the request of the caucuses of each city. It is impossible. The budget is so little. The government decided to make sure that they reduce the budget. The budget was some time ago more than 600 million. Now coming down to reduce the budget, we have to focus on priorities. Then that's our concern. You can't just make sure you make appropriation for every city and whatever. Considering Monsterrado County having major challenges, and this is why budgetary allotment for mayor in that direction. So you just need to understand that we look at the challenges and then we make appropriation based on challenges. In fact, this is the first coalition democratic change budget. This is the first budget for the government. Give us a chance in the reclash. You're going to see difference of also considering other cities.
Thank you. You both back off.
It's
finished. Back off. Thank you. All right. My man, you're finished, man. You say you have one question for the man. Then you say you don't get in, John. My man, you follow all kind of this. All right, so thanks today to candidate for Senate, Michael Doe Tippison, candidate for Senate, Finley Wakanga, and candidate for Senate, Sir Ish Joseph. May you give them a big hand of applause. Very big one. Thank you. Thank you. Now, it's time for you. We align 10 people to ask questions. Only 10. So we'll take geographically in this hall. If that is the situation, the man there, far in the west, will come. And you got to come fast. Who do you want to talk to? Now is your time. Questions and answers from the field. Who you got question for quick?
Margaret Tippison.
My man, you can be making noise. You're acting like you bottle can mail here.
Honorable Tippison.
Michael Tippison.
Exactly.
Join your constituent. This is the last segment to departure. On Duco debates. Put the mic to your level, Michael. Thank you. Yes, your question. Only one, and don't talk too long.
Thank you. My name is Charles Howard Kennedy. I live in Caldwell. What I'm basically concerned about, because he bragged about advocacies. He consistently talks about Doe community. And what I do know, Doe community is a slum community. And you, as a senatorial candidate, what direct impact that you have made in the life of the people in Doe community? Is it visible that we can see? Thank you.
And we only want to hear two.
Thank you. As a matter of fact, I think you'll be able to support us from this answer. I was elected youth president of Doe community in 2012. And as youth president of a community is a job without salary, without allowances, benefit associated. But I was able to honor my leadership, and thank God my Secretary General then is here. We erected the first youth center in Doe community. We established a youth bank account, and when I was leaving office, we left a amount in the account.
Number two.
So to answer this, to tell you that if we were with a position without salary and we could do that, that's the reason why I've said to the people of the community, come to think about it. If you give me your vote as a senator, where I will get allowance, I will have salary, I will have benefit, and the county will get money. You will get the best, one of the best communities around the world. That answers your question.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have a question for Michael Tippison, Honorable Tippison.
Michael Tippison again. Mike, Lord, are you the man here today? Okay.
Yeah, my name is Stephen S. Moore, and I'm from District number 14. My question is, Michael Tippison, you have had an outstanding leadership role in society. You are also an enterprising intellectual and advocate in this country. You have succeeded throughout your history in youth leadership in this country.
And so what?
What is your major challenge in this process?
Thank you. Our major challenge in the process is what Representative Sir Joseph has. And what allegedly Brother Kanga spoke about, that people are printing money and using cash to sway people. We don't have t-shirts here, we don't have banners, we don't have posters, we don't have ambassadors. We are on our billboards. That is our major challenge. Resources. But the advantage we have is that we come to the table with clear vision on how to improve Monsterrado. And the message is out. The people are ready to elect us. Thank you.
I can't hear you.
Alexander Bernard, I live in this district.
Okay.
District 17. My question for Honorable Sir Joseph.
Sir Joseph, the man want to ask you. You and him look the way you're two looking. Two men at Corral. I don't know who eating more. And from my own too. Very good. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Honorable Sir Joseph, I remember you during the Ebola crisis. You did well for this country. And I also decided to give you my vote. But I agree with Mr. Kanga. He asked a question that makes sense. Why is it we got 7 cities in Monsterrado, only 2 getting government allotment? You know, I always tell people that Liberia is a one-sided society. Things of important, we don't take it important. So tell me the reason why only 2 cities getting government allotment and the other 5 not, and the other 5
Thank you.
Not.
That is the man's view. You like it or not, he will respond.
Thank you.
Just go ahead.
I think, as I stated before, government have a lot of challenges. And looking at the budgetary allotments and the problems that we have, we needed to do it little by little and to decentralize development. President, as I speak to you, we're going to have $500 or $600 million going into the Southeastern.
you're going to have more than 30 million going to Cape Mount, Bombay, and Bapolo, working on the roads. So the focus point was to also look at what can we do for Monsterrado County. So we have to lease decentralized government, and that's how we decide to make appropriation in that manner.
Okay. Thank you.
No question. Goodbye. All right. Well, you were sitting there, you moved from there to your dialogue. Look, who here? Where the woman? Huh? Come close to that mic, Enter.
Yes, Honorable. I understand that you know almost all the laws in Liberia, and you understand almost all of the budget. So where was you and you let the country fall apart?
All right, can't answer. Hey! Why is your hand up? The thing the guy talking is stupid? Then you keep your hand down until he finishes with her. That's what they call civilized society. Go ahead. Kangala hear you.
Well, what is your name, my dear daughter?
My name is Student Hara.
Come closer.
My name is Student Hara Princess Tama, and I live in district number 17.
Thank you very much. I see you and I just cried. I wish I would have had my little daughter come to ask me this question, but she didn't have the opportunity like you to have come to this because she did something funny and she got pregnant. I appreciate the question, but just so you know, I've decided to be a lawyer to protect ladies. When I see a lady, I see that my sister who was abused, for which I became a lawyer, I see her. And so I cried whenever I see ladies asking me. But it's not because of you, but it's because of the discrimination that exists in the country and the lack of justice and fair play that we have. I've not worked in government, my dear daughter, but I've been an advocate all of my life. Let me tell you some of the things that I've supported through my advocacy. There are laws that I helped to draft in this country, including the human rights law, including the land right policy. I helped to draft that law. That law is seeks in order to have the land given back to our people. Now, by that it means under the current law, the government owns all the land. But under that law, the land will go back to the traditional people. I believe in that. Because before there was a country, our tribal people were here, they own the land. So that law will make the government to have a custodial relationship, but not a physical possession of the land. What I keep doing is, I have radio program, what I teach law and you, to tell people some of the bylaws that are made by the honorable there, so that we can try to change them. That is why I've come to the race, because I understand lawmaking, I understand how to do good law. That's why I've told people in Monsterrado, please select me to have your own culture lawyer to stay in our house, to ensure I repeal the bylaws, to ensure that we get the laws good. Just so you know, the government sent me not only to the University of Liberia, the government sent me to go to Italy to learn law, to be a culture lawyer. Then they take me to send me to Harvard University to learn law. So the law that they have taught me, I'm teaching students at the University of Liberia every day. I teach students how to read, to write, and to research at the University of Liberia Law School.
Thank you.
Those are my contribution. Not only do I do that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes. Oh. Let's go.
Thank you very much. My name is Jacob J. Matthew. I want to talk to the Honorable Sir Joseph.
Sir Joseph, come with your man there.
Thank you very much, Honorable. My question goes to you directly.
But he knows.
2018, there are promises that you made to your people in District 17, that's in District 13, and they voted for you. You think, is that an insult to the people that You voted me and you are not fulfilled that promise. And now you come out to the people to tell them that they should vote for you for a senatorial seat. And my question again.
No. Only one question is finished.
And at the same time.
No. Answer the question.
Thank you. You say you from which district?
I'm from District 14, where the Kwe and Buka living. They were living in Mosquito.
Thank you.
Mosquito will always be here.
Let me say this to you. I'm not a stranger in district number 14. In district number 14, I constructed a market in district number 14. So I'm not a stranger there. But let me say to you this. Let me say to you that the people of district number 13, as well the people of Monsterrado County, petitioned me. They have asked me to take a bigger platform in Liberia. During the Ebola crisis, was I only catering to only district number 13? No. I was catering to the entire country. I went to Bikina. I went to Bon County. I served every district. District number 14 was highly hit by the Ebola crisis, to be specific, Dole community. You know how long I went into Dole community? Why you want to limit me today because of that Sir Joseph should not be in a race because of my district have asked me, they have given me the blessing to go ahead. The people of Monsterrado County petitioned me and it was proven beyond reasonable doubt because I went on web ballot at the coalitions of Democratic Change primary.
Thank you. Goodbye. This man.
Honorable, good afternoon. My question to you is to kindly tell me, everybody in this room and those in Radio Land, why should you be voted senator for Monsterrado County?
Thank you. The reason I've asked the people of Monsterrado County to vote for me, number one reason, because they petitioned me to also run into this race. And I felt capable for it when I went through the process, the rank and file at the coalitions of Democratic Change Party headquarters. In more to that, considering the track record of Sir Joseph, I was in Sierra Leone as a kid. I left from here in 1990 when I was 10 years old. I lived in a refugee camp for 14 years. During my stay in the refugee camp, I had the opportunity to bring relief to the people of Liberian people within the refugee camp. This is how I was able to solicit money to make sure I built 30 schools. Today, people are educated that I can count in government today based on my advocacy in the refugee camp because of money that I received internationally. The first money that I received as a refugee in the United States was $50,000 United States dollars. I could have kept that money as a refugee, but I worked in the interest of the people until I came to Liberia. Look at my track record. I have proven beyond reasonable doubt serving the people. This is about the service rendered to the people of Liberia. We have focused our direction, our attention into that, making sure we work with education. Today, I can boast of 5 schools that I raised money from the United States. The money is not coming from my pocket. Anybody here could take that, I can take that money and anybody will keep it. But those schools are considered free of charge today because of my advocacy. And I'm considered as one of the best representatives of District number 13. It was proven in the dark days in Liberia when I was given the highest honor in the Republic of Liberia, the Grand Knight Commander for the Human Redemption of Africa. Thank you.
Thank you. We come back here. It's fair for that woman to come. The woman. Madam, we're waiting. Let's hear you, madam.
I actually have 2 questions for 2 candidates.
You are entitled to 1.
2 candidates.
I said no. 1.
Honorable Sir Joseph.
Sir Joseph, come. I think so. Sit down there. You guys sit there now.
Yes.
Thank you. Your name and question.
My name is Kebe D.M. Kanga, a resident of district number 17. My question is, what have you not achieved in the first 6 years as a representative that you want to achieve as a senator within 3 years?
Thank you. Are you related to Ms. Honorable Kanga?
That is immaterial, sir.
Okay, thank you. What I have not been able to achieve, the nurse.
Please go ahead.
What I have not even been able to achieve as a lawmaker within district number 13 is getting a bigger platform. I have a bigger opportunity. Serving as a representative of district number 13, I have been facing a lot of problems in entering into other districts working there. During the Ebola crisis, I was attacked by my honorable colleague, Honorable Solomon George. And he said to me, what are you doing in my district? In district number 14, the lawmaker there, president, is mad at me because I went into district number 14 and gave the young people there 100,000 United States Liberian dollars to do some work project. The youth chairman can attest to that. And also making sure that in other communities, when I go there, they complain. So now I have an opportunity, since I can do better than whatever lawmaker, to make sure I be able to create opportunity for the rest of the district. And the challenges, President, as we speak to you, district number 1 in Monsterrado County is struggling. I just said today that I have just donated 1 truck that costs 20,000 United States dollars, money that I took from the bank to be able to help the women in district number 1 to make sure. Again, President, as I speak to you, I am building all of the market in Monsterrado County. President, I'm in Johnsonville community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye. In this group. Hey! Count down to 0 from 10, number 7.
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And let me say good afternoon. My name is Steve Bundo, and I am from...
You got to speak better than that. We don't hear you.
My name is Steve Bundo, and I am from district number 9.
Yes.
My question goes to the 3 contestants.
You got one. Listen to me. If everybody comes here and tells us they're talking to everybody who will not go, you're entitled to 1 person. Call the person's name. No question for 3 candidates here. 1.
Okay, I would love to talk to Mr. Tipesin.
Tipesin, Michael, face the man.
There are some contestants today who are allegedly on a travel ban. Some cannot enter the U.S. for reason of, for crime they have committed in the U.S. And while as others as well cannot engage the international scene, knowing fully well that Liberia relies quite on the relationship that we have built internationally. What is your take? What do you think that if our colleagues were here and we are giving them the opportunity to do it, how would they be able to represent Liberia on the international scene?
Thank you. It's a good question. Please listen to the answer. It's a good question.
You are not listening to the man. I said...
It's a good question.
Listen to me, Michael. I said here that you all have your right to your defense. That is why we are paying for this debate. Make it your business to come. They are not here. They got character problem. Hit them hard.
It's a good question. And when I was saying that the Liberian people, the people in Monsterrado, should not vote for the election of DJ Blue, Mark Kishan, Josephine Francis, Representative Sir Joseph, and Kanga, that was against that backdrop. But better still, a person who have all of the international contacts. The Representative Sir Joseph is boasting of some. And the candidate that you are supporting has been identified. But one thing that is lacking, if you have the international contact and you come down and also spread falsehood, you are not a good leader. Because your candidate says he's building market or he build market in District 14. No, I'm answering your question.
He's responding. You can't say anything.
I'm answering your question. You said people got tinted record. They should not vote for them. I say it is truth. I'm also telling you that your candidate is grossly deceiving the people of Monsterrado. So he should not be voted for. Let us come here with facts and speak truth, not to be lying.
Mr. Stephenson,
Do you have another
do you
thing
know
to
my
say?
candidate?
Huh?
Do you know my candidate?
No, that's
Are you
not
being
important.
paid to wear this?
Do you know my candidate?
I'm your candidate, so please remove
All
that.
right, both of you back off. Remove that. Thank you. And you gotta wait for the candidates to go outside. Don't move.
Thank you very much. My name is Augustine Ali, and I have a question for the honorable man.
The honorable will pay fine. Who get that man seat over there? I catch the man.
All right, thank you very much. If I can recall, there was a bill submitted in the National 54th Legislature by...
We can't hear you, my man. You got to be fair.
There was a bill submitted at the National 54th Legislature by Honorable Vani Eshamo of Grand Cape County, preventing certain lawmakers from contesting election. I want to know your take on a bill or your stand, your position when it surfaces at the lower house.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, I wouldn't have loved to assume when the bill is coming to the lower house. But let me say to you my personal view before the bill comes. First of all, how honest is Mr. Vani Sherman in coming up with such a bill that no sitting lawmaker should contest in the House of Senate? That's a very good bill. I support it, but we have portions that need to also be amended. Sitting senators should not contest as any presidential candidate. If they can accept that, I'm willing to make sure to vote for that bill. I can assure you that. So when that bill comes, we have also making sure that we'll also add the portion that sitting senators will not be allowed to also contest for any presidency.
Thank you. We come in the middle here. What are journalists who are here? What Patrick? What Moses? Moses gone? You gone? All right. So look at all the plenty here. Only 2 people now. Hey man, lucky people here. Oh. Man with the blue. That your blessing, my man.
You ready like blue?
But we're not to your location yet. Why you can't follow law? Yeah, Moses wanted to talk. What we call him?
My question goes to Honorable Sir Joseph.
Wait a minute. You want to ask? But you know what your boss man want to ask before? You will. Besides that journalist, you're entitled to it. Yes.
Yeah, I said, Sir Joseph, Honorable Sir Joseph. I'm Daniel D. Grando. I am a resident of District Number 13.
Now your man, and your man were accusing the other man. Yeah, go ahead.
On the constraints.
You know, sir, I said that your petition here.
Yeah, we did. On the constraints.
Yeah.
I can remember, or it get to my mind that they have some things listed. First, they have the education constraint and pipe-borne water. I think they talk about health. So I want to ask the representative here, what can he show in that direction for pipe-borne water and education? What project that affected any public school or community in his district? Thank you very much.
Thank you. If I may get it right, you're asking.
And you can only name 2.
The pipe-borne water.
Yes, name 2 projects that affected people.
Well, pipe-borne water have been a greater challenge. The issue of drinking water, safe drinking water, have been, first of all, a greater challenge within District Number 13, Monsterrado County. So the first thing that I did, I want to say that here today, I was able to loan money from the bank in the shortest possible time, I was able to purchase 60 pumps within district number 13 to help. But that was not the permanent solution. By the grace of God, I was able to, as a certain lawmaker in the 53rd, I was able to lobby in the national budget. And today, I can assure you, district number 13, people, to be specific, let's say 70% of the population will be connected to pipe-borne water from funding came from African Development Bank of 100 million that were able to do pipe-borne water for the entire district. And this project will be finally out this particular month for the July 26th. The president will be there to turn this project over to the Liberian Water and Sewer Corporation. So this is what I have been able to do in that direction.
Thank you. So here is where we come now with the last person for the day. And actually I see one woman way in the back. She's been trying to put her hair up. Is that a woman? Yes. The woman. She really been struggling.
This is Mother Teresa Outland from...
Come closer to the mic.
Mother Teresa Outland.
Okay, Mother.
From Broadway here.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to talk to our representative, Sir Joseph, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Listen to the woman, man.
My question is, all the good things that you have been doing, and you already seated, then you want to leave that seat to go to different seat. Then where you say pro government, then where the money will come from again now to go fail in that space?
Thank you.
Listen, man. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, she finished.
She finished?
Yeah.
Now, hey, I only one question, yeah.
You finished, man?
Yeah.
Thank you for, first of all, thank you for recognizing that you've been hearing good things. And those good things you've been hearing, you hear about those good things in district number 13. Those good things, I have to bring them in district number 17 where you live. And this is why I'm looking for the opportunity that you people should give me the opportunity to serve as a senator where nobody will have to ask me question, why are you in my district? As a senator, I will have the opportunity to get more opportunity from abroad to bring it. As a senator, I will have the opportunity to go in every district to be able to help the people. So nobody will ask me questions. So that's the only reason. And when you say propo doesn't mean you must infringe on somebody's right. Propo, it means that when you are coming up with policy, it should be in the interest of the people of Liberia. And that's why we focus in that direction to make sure that whatever decisions that we're going to make, not to infringe on anybody's right, will be on the propo agenda.
Thank you. Goodbye, ma. Until you got the last question now. That's our journalist from Red Power FM. Thank you. Let's hear you, man. Don't mind all people.
I am Vashti.
Who can't hear you? You gotta talk loud.
I am Vashti Kephat from Red Power FM. I want to ask Honorable Sir Joseph.
Sir Joseph.
Yes.
Honorable Sir Joseph, you are a member of...
Are you hearing a woman? Yeah, because you're just making noise. Go ahead, Auntie.
Honorable Sir Joseph, you are a member of the Coalition for Democratic Change. And this government came out with a policy and talking about the pro-poor agenda in the interest of the common people, talking about alleviating the poor people from poverty. Why have you decided to undermine this pro-poor agenda of the CDC government running into the House of Senate?
Well, first of all, I want you to understand, for me to run, I'm not undermining the pro-poor agenda. In fact, I'm championing the pro-poor agenda. That's what I'm doing. Because providing trucks to district number 1, where I'm not the representative of that district, for the poor people to have money, to have means to bring their crops to town, I'm supporting the pro-poor agenda. Building the bridges in Todi district,
That's not my district. I'm supporting the proposed agenda. Building market in district number 17 in Clash Island. I'm supporting the proposed agenda. So the proposed agenda that we're talking about is about making sure that we turn and do all we can to give priority to our poor people. And this is why, as a policy in this government, if you notice that even the loan that was passed to work on the road, today we have West Point. West Point, all of the horses, the previous government said we should break down the horses in government. The proper government is saying nobody should break down horses in government. We should build the horses for the people in West Point. This is what we're saying. The past government said we should remove the people from Nukutan. The proper government is saying no, let the people stay in Nukutan. We will change the zinc to upstairs to block building. This is what the proper agenda is all about. The proper agenda is not being on I'm the one champion in it.
Yes, sir. All right. Hey, the last segment now. The last segment is an answer to one question. Each of you, Finley Kanga, take the podium. Take the podium and you will sit down and wait for them to go one by one. Don't leave. That's how you do in the good and advanced debate. You wait for them to leave. Answer my question. If you lose in this election, what will you do?
Well, losing is not part of the process for Councillor Kanga, but Councillor Kanga is a professor.
I said, if you lose, what will you do? There's a chance of loss by anybody.
Councillor Kanga is a professor of law, and he's a businessman, runs a consultancy. I will continue to do that, providing advocacy for our people and helping law reform initiatives in the country as I continue to do them.
Thank you. Will you give him a hand of applause? Thank you. Michael Tippison, the podium, answer to the one single question. If you lose, what will you do?
We will challenge the election result in court.
Just because you lose?
You asked me a question, I gave you answer. We will challenge. It's not just because we lose. It's not just because the election result will be against us. But there are issues currently that we have raised with the National Elections Commission and is yet to be addressed. Next week, Tuesday, our people are supposed to vote. As we speak, you don't see civil voter education going on. National Election Commission requested citizens to pay $5 for them to have their lost voter ID. There are a lot of issues. If we lose the election, as part of what we're going to do, we'll challenge the result in court.
Good. Size Joseph. What time? The man said you will challenge, man. You won't even lose yet. Suppose you win. With all the things, you will not challenge it. You see? If you win. If you lose.
Thank you very much. If I lose this election, it will be the 7 wonders of the world. Because there's no possibility.
And what will you do if you lose?
What I know I will do is that as a citizen of this nation, the first thing I will do, I will congratulate the leader, the person that won this election. I will call them to congratulate them as a truthful citizen. And the issue of individuals going to court, you know, the court is the one that delayed this election. Honorable Yeka Koluba went to court. Michael Tippison also want to go to court. What I can assure the people of Monsterrado County that elections are over. Consider Sir Joseph as your senator for Monsterrado County. Thank you.
All right. Sir Joseph, come back. You still did not answer my question. If you lose, what will you do?
Well, If I lose this election,
yes,
I will still continue to serve the people of Liberia as I have started to do, and I will still continue to tell the people of Liberia and Monsterrado County that once a hero is always a hero. Thank you.
All right, have your seat now. Have your seat now, and let's close. And now your candidates will leave one by one on the procession out of the hall. Procession. Today has been a great day at Brewerville. May we see the departure out of the hall of candidate Michael Tippison. Goodbye. Michael Tippison leaves the hall. Thank you. You are great, yes, you are. Michael Tippison, candidate for Senate, departs the hall. Next for departure, candidate Finley Wakanga. Goodbye.
Everything routine about you is great. You are great, yes, you are.
Thank you.
Walked upon the sea, wasted.
All right.
You reign in majesty.
The last to depart, candidate for Senate, Sir Joseph. Thank you so much. On behalf of the rest of the team, my name is John Colley. Goodbye.